And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here. You could be almost anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me live on the show. Most certainly appreciate y'all for that. Please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We got a whole lot of things going on all over the internets. Trump's gonna ban TikTok. A lot of the TikTokers are upset, and I understand if you got hundreds of thousands of followers on there and you got a nice little thing going, I understand, but hey, that's Chinese spyware. It's gotta go. What are you gonna do? Let's go ahead and ban it. Other countries have already banned it. India banned it. Bangladesh, Indonesia, and more have already banned TikTok because they know what it is. Matter of fact, TikTok is banned in China. Imagine that. They have their own version of TikTok called Douyin, but Douyin is not TikTok. The TikTokers we see over here in the States, they can't see in China unless they get a VPN or something like that. But if you want to get sent to the penitentiary or to their version of Gitmo making big rocks into little rocks, if you don't want that to happen, you might not want to access TikTok over in mainland China. So that's going to happen pretty soon. They're talking about they want to sell it to Microsoft, all this, that, and the third, but that might not work. That's kind of a last ditch. That's kind of a Hail Mary type of effort right there. But we'll see how that works. We'll talk about TikTok. We'll talk about kneeling in the NBA. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, I thank y'all for joining. Most certainly appreciate you guys. You could be anywhere in the world, but you are right here with me. Most certainly appreciate y'all for that. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Alrighty. Now, we got a lot to talk about. Like I said, TikTok is right there. I'll probably talk about that first and get into other things with TikTok. The Suburbs tweet, that one really had me incensed because of what people were saying about the tweet, talking about, oh, well, if Trump says he doesn't want low-income housing built next to the suburbs, that means he wants to keep black and brown people out. Like, we're the only ones that live in low income. We're the only ones that don't have any money. We're the only ones that don't live in the suburbs. You know, I live in the suburbs right now. So should I leave? Should I just go back to the ghetto? Is that where I belong? I'll talk about that a little bit later. I'll talk about Jim Jordan versus Anthony Fauci. And there's a whole lot of things going on, actually. But I think I'm going to start with TikTok. This is a pretty big one on social media. You know, this is where I'm at. I'm seeing people. I know people that have TikTok accounts that aren't the dancers and stuff. I know political people on TikTok. Shout out to y'all. You guys are great content creators over there. But I think we all know what time it is with that organization, that company. First of all, TikTok is owned by this company called ByteDance. ByteDance. Whatever, I'm not sure what it is in Chinese. I know it's not the same thing as it is in English, but different story. Anyway, or in Mandarin, because it's mainland Chinese, Beijing, Chinese Communist Party. But anyway, they're owned by ByteDance, and you can't even get TikTok in China. That's the funniest part about this. You cannot get TikTok in China through normal means. Like, if you go to your phone, you go to the App Store, like the Apple App Store or Google Play Store, and you go to find apps, you're going to find TikTok in your apps, at least for now, until they ban it. If they ban it, you're not going to be able to find a Chinese version of TikTok called Douyin. Now, in China, it's the absolute reverse. You're going to find Douyin and not TikTok, okay? They are the same app mechanically, and it's by the same company, ByteDance, but they're not the same app. They're different apps. You know, TikTok is the international clone of Douyin. People that are on Douyin are not going to be able to see TikTokers that are in the States and Europe and stuff like that. They're only going to see Chinese stuff. That's pretty much what it is. But if you have the international version, you can see everybody. You could be over here in the States and you could be talking to people from Germany and France and wherever else. It's not the same app. TikTok is not even allowed in China. So think about it like this. Why is China giving you a version of the app that they don't even want to use? Huh? Think about that for a moment. You know, it's like when you go to, I'm gonna go there, but they're giving you version of the app that they don't want to use themselves, that they are not allowed to use themselves through normal means. So what does that mean? I think we all know that Chinese Communist Party, they spy. They're notorious for spying. They've been caught spying. I'm talking about James Bond 007 type stuff. You understand what I'm saying? James Bond 007. Thank you to Praying for the Rapture for the donation who says, didn't Elon Musk ban his employees from having TikTok weeks ago? Probably. Jeff Bezos, Amazon did the same thing. Joe Biden banned his campaign staff from having TikTok. TikTok is already banned if you are a federal government employee. You cannot have TikTok. If you are a contractor, you cannot have TikTok. And also the Pentagon went as far as to say that if you work at the Pentagon, your kids can't have TikTok on their phone. Okay, they're not even in the government, but since they are the children those work for the government, they can't have TikTok on their phone. TikTok has been caught spying. They do all kinds of stuff. Now, I'll talk about U.S. companies and what they do with data in a minute, because I'm not going to forget about that, because I'm not a hypocrite here. TikTok has been caught with so-called errors. All right, I'm going to use that in quotation marks, errors. It was one error where they were able to read your clipboard. Now, your clipboard is where things are stored as you copy and paste. So let's say, for example, you copy and paste a password as you have. They can see that because you got the app open or it's in the background running or whatever. They're also able to read all your contacts, obviously. They can also log your keystrokes to see what you're doing and where you're going and, pretty much everything. So if they can log your keystrokes, if they can spy on your clipboard, then why not turn your microphone on when you don't know it? Or turn your camera on when you don't know it? You won't see any kind of notification. It'll just be on. They're recording you audio, video, and everything that TikTok collects must go to the Chinese Communist Party at their request. That's the law. That's actually the physical law. If they don't do it, they can get locked up. And to ensure that they have to do it, they have Chinese Communist Party members on their board. So rather than having Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos, you would have John Brennan, you would have Steve Mnuchin or somebody like that. That'd be the equivalent of what happens over there in China. And it's not a game design exaggeration. That's what they do actively right now. Okay, ByteDance, they have Chinese Communist Party members on the board actively dictating what happens with the company. So if they're seeing something that's going on, or they're trying to gain intel on a particular person or a particular region, they're going to say, all right, look, let's make some software changes. Let's get some spying going on, and let's do it like that. Why have any kind of drones? And then they got a nerve to, they got a bunch of Chinese drones over here that we're using in our streets. It's like, I don't understand how that works, because if you get in these Chinese drones, see, it's one thing, I'm kind of worried about cell phones in general because they're assembled over there, but to have a cell phone that's not only assembled in China, maybe even a Chinese phone, you also got Chinese software, spyware on it. I mean, rather than having a drone in the sky looking at you, they can just have the phone in your house and record everything. And your phone gives you more information than a drone in the sky would. All a drone in the sky can see is what you do when you outside the house. If you're in a public space, okay? Maybe it could kind of peep in your window, but it ain't really going to do that because you're able to notice it. It'll see you when you outside. But when you're on your phone, you be on the phone in the most intimate situations. You're in the bathroom, you sleeping in the bed, you in your car by yourself. It can see everything that you're doing. It knows where you're going. It has all your information, all your personal data, everything. So your phone is compromised if you have TikTok on it. Now, the thing about TikTok is that this is a big app. You're talking about, what it said, it's the most downloaded app in the world or close to it. Not even exaggerating. It's to the point where Facebook is a behemoth of social media. You're talking about, I read a stat, it might have been a year or two ago, that says 98% of all social media traffic happens on or through Facebook. 98%. Or it might be a little bit less than that now, because that was a couple of years ago. Twitter has a very slim margin in social media. Very slim. Facebook is the beast because they also own Instagram and some other, I think they own, what's that phone app? I forget the name of the phone app, but they own that too. So most of your traffic happens on Facebook, but among 13 and 16-year-olds, TikTok is used more by them than Facebook. So once they start to grow up and get older, that's going to continue, because you got a lot of people that are, pretty young, but not teenage, not like 13 and 16. You're talking about maybe early 20s, late 20s that use TikTok for political stuff and other things aside from the dancing and whatnot. Aside from the dance challenges, you got people that are using it for other means. All right. So they're going to continue to use it. And then it'll become kind of, it'll be everywhere, all over the place, as much as Google and Facebook. And it's a Chinese company that's run by the Chinese Communist Party. They got you. They can spy. They don't have to do any kind of 007 espionage. They can just put the app right on your phone and take whatever they want. So Trump was right to ban it, as was Modi of India. He was right to ban it, as well as a bunch of other apps. It's not just TikTok that gets banned or that has been banned on the App Store and the Google Play Store. It's a bunch of other apps that you might not even know about, kind of things that seem harmless, like clocks, calendars, calculators, little camera apps, things that kind of seem harmless. They're free or cost like $1 or something like that. They got very high download counts. People download it all the time on their phone, but it ain't nothing but spyware. And you read the TOS, it says we can use your camera anytime you want to. We can read your everything. Now, a lot of your Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they are data heavy as well. But see, the key difference is that they are not members of the government on the board of X, Y, and Z company in America. Now, what they do is they try to, got lobbyists and they try to influence government. But see, it's one thing to try and influence government to have them go your way, but it's something else to have the government require itself on your board and dictate what happens. You see what I'm saying? See, in the States, we have a system where we can debate things. We can kind of like, okay, we're going to do X, we're going to do Y. There's different voices in government, but in China, it's not like that. They're going to put themselves on your board and tell you what to do versus you having to try to convince government what to do. It's a big difference. All right. And the states can't just necessarily take data from one of these big giant behemoths for no reason. Remember the whole thing where somebody got murdered? And I think there was some data on an iPhone that was able to figure out who did it. And it was an actual fight to see if you can get the data or have a back door. With China, that wouldn't have happened. It would have been, okay, give me the phone now and break it open. Matter of fact, it wouldn't have been that. They would have already had a back door and would have been able to get it because there would be no encryption. Nah, they're going to see everything you do, and that's going to be pretty much it. Because that's how they operate in the one-party communist China. All right? So, yeah, he was right to go ahead and ban it all day long. And I thank y'all again for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. You guys are fantastic. The best audience on the internet. All righty. Let me see what's going on. So, yeah, TikTok, that's a no-brainer for me. Oh, and I don't even want to get into the Uyghurs and the Xinjiang province and all that. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different, you'll be all night talking about that. We'll be all night talking about that. It's all kind of, propaganda on TikTok. It's propaganda everywhere, really, because you got a lot of these so-called newspapers that got full-page ads from China talking about how great China is, all this and that and the third. But the app, have it right on your phone, is very dangerous because it's straight spyware all day long. Now, you can get to TikTok if they ban it through a VPN, but why would you use a VPN to get to spyware? That makes no sense. You're defeating the purpose of a VPN. A VPN is for added layer of security. But if you access some spyware with it, then you just, that's like, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's like having on some kind of flame retardant gear and then just sticking your hand in fire. It's like the whole point of the flame retardant gear is to prevent from getting burned from like a little, from extra heat or something like that. Not to put your hand straight in the fire. You're eliminating its effectiveness. You see what I'm saying? All right. But what else we got going on? And yes, RIP to Herman Cain. Rest in peace to Herman Cain. Really unfortunate. He was, I think, 74 or 75 when he passed away of the virus. Now, there were some things that were said that were not accurate. I actually met people that were there, and I know folks that were there in Tulsa and sat with Herman Cain. and they all got tested before they came into the actual rally. I went to this dinner last night. Me and my fiance went to the dinner last night here in Chattanooga, and I met the hopefully new Senator Bill Haggerty here in Tennessee, and Diamond and Soot were there as like the main guest. They spoke, and they were talking about how they were all there at the rally together, and before they went into the rally, they all got tested. I'm talking about there was a testing facility on site at the rally, outside the rally. Herman Cain got tested. Diamond and Silk got tested. Everybody that was right there in the picture you saw, Herman Cain, they got tested before they went into the rally. So, you know, the virus didn't happen there. It happened somewhere else. Okay? Because everybody got tested when they went into the rally. That's part of it. People don't understand that as well. People talking about, the rally was a failure in Tulsa, but you got to understand, there was a lot of security that was there, and it was a slower process to get in because you got to get tested, you got to go through extra security, you got the BLM and Antifa mob outside slowing things down, blocking stuff off. So it was hard to actually get in with all those security measures in place. All right. So the whole thing about, he didn't wear a mask, that's why he died. First of all, I was told that the mask does not prevent you from getting the virus. It only prevents you from spreading it. But if you get tested and you were found negative, what's the point of wearing the mask? Like if I just get tested right now and they say you don't have it, why would I wear a mask? It can't stop me from getting it, and I don't have it to give to anybody else. There's no point in wearing the mask. Also, he went to other places after he left the rally, and before he went to the rally, he had the mask on in some of those places. At the rally, there was no point in wearing the mask because he had been tested, right? He could have caught the virus anywhere. You can catch it from a lot of different ways. They're saying now, you should wear goggles or some kind of face shield. Goggles? Face shield? So can I get it through my eyes? How does that happen? All right. I think they don't know. They don't know everything. They're just kind of learning things and, just shooting from the hip right now. They don't really know all of the ways you can get it, all of the ways that it presents itself, or all the ways to treat it. We know how to treat it. I won't say the drug, but it starts with an H with it, and it ends with an hydroxychloroquine. You understand what I'm saying? But I didn't say the word. I just said parts of it, allegedly. We know what's going on, but the regular normies maybe don't. The government maybe doesn't. Herman Cain did not have to wear a mask if he got tested and he didn't have it. And wearing the mask does not prevent you from getting it. That's a fact. That's just big facts. All it does is prevent you from giving it to others because it prevents droplets from leaving your mouth, leaving your nose, and landing on others. Simple. If you get tested and everyone else around you does get tested right before you go into the rally, you're good. So anybody saying that needs to stop. You should just be quiet and, think a little bit before they talk. That's all I got to say about it. Right. Exactly. It could have been from a swab. Like, where's the swab coming from? They sticking this Q-tip in your nose all the way to your brainstem. All right. Where did that come from? Where did the actual Q-tip come from? Who's handling it? What's going on outside? Who knows? And also, he was on the ventilator. Now, the ventilator is like a death sentence. Once you get put on that, it's hard to get off of it. Have you ever seen anybody on the ventilator? I have. My aunt was on it when she passed. Really, she was deceased on a ventilator. You understand? Because if you don't know about a ventilator, they're sticking the tube down your throat. They put you in a coma, and the machine is breathing for you. You're not breathing on your own. And she was on the vent for like a month. And then it got to the point where we were like, okay, take her off the ventilator because this is not living. You understand what I'm saying? This is not living, and she was not improving. May she rest in peace. She was elderly, of course. But a ventilator, I mean, you can't really live like that. They're doing a ventilator because that's like, they don't understand how to treat it properly. There are ways to treat it. The ventilator is not really a good way. It's like an 80% death rate once that happens. Okay. And Herman Cain had beat cancer. He had cancer in 2006. It was not a recent diagnosis. He beat stage 4 liver cancer back in 2006. Okay. So you're talking about 14 years ago, if I'm not mistaken? It was a long time ago that he beat liver cancer. He was in his 70s. He had cancer before. So he might just been in a high risk of catching it and not being able to fight it like others have. I feel like most Americans have been exposed to the virus, but most of us have not been tested. If you tested everybody in America, you would see a much higher rate of it infecting all of us. They're finding more cases because they're doing more testing. People that have not gotten tested before are getting tested now, and you're having more cases. The case number is not necessarily even relevant. What's really relevant is the number of people that die from the virus. That's not increasing. The number of cases is, which means it's less deadly than we thought it was before. But I think we all pretty much knew that. All of us are kind of awake. We knew what was going on, but not everyone does. So it is what it is. All right. But again, thank y'all for being here. I most certainly appreciate you guys. And rest in peace to Herman Cain. Herman Cain was a brilliant man too. Aside from, the 999, y'all know Herman Cain for the 999 deal. He also was the head of the Federal Reserve of Kansas City at the Omaha, Nebraska branch. He also was like a literal rocket scientist. I forgot the exact thing that he did, but he was a rocket scientist. You're talking about a mathematician, brilliant man. He was on Bob Dole's 96 campaign team. I think he was a senior finance analyst or advisor back then, 96. He did a lot in his life. Obviously, CEO, Godfather's Pizza. He worked with Pillsbury. He was just a man that did pretty much everything. So really smart guy. I had met him briefly once. I didn't get to talk to him too much. He was at Black Voices for Trump last time I saw him. He was speaking to Reverend Sierra Bryant. He was sitting right next to him. I spoke to Mason Weaver, Sierra Bryant. I'm seeing everybody. I'm seeing Diamond and Silk. I'm seeing like the whole squad was there. All of us are right there. I tried to get a picture with him, but he was so busy I couldn't do it. But aside from the picture, aside from anything, what I would like to do is just to sit and talk to him and just have him just say anything. If I can just pick his brain and get any kind of jewels of information, I'd take it. That right there is worth more than a picture. It's worth more than money. It's worth more than gold. To be able to talk to somebody that's like that is of that age and that had that kind of life and those kind of experiences, that's what I want to know about. That's what I want to learn about. They Brett Kavanaugh him back in the 2012 campaign. All these women talking about, we had an affair, all this, that, and the third. They Brett Kavanaugh them to get him out of the way and to make Mitt Romney be the front runner. And we see what happened with that. But yeah, I was a big time Herman, still am a big time Herman Cain fan. May he rest in peace. But this whole thing about the mask, that's just bogus. And you get people like Ana Navarro. I'm not sure why Ana Navarro still identifies as Republican. What about her is Republican? You're against, you're for amnesty, DACA, you hate Trump, you hate conservatives, you hate black conservatives, white conservatives. You want to attack Herman Cain after he died. It's like, what makes you conservative? I'm not really sure. I mean, with friends like that, who needs enemies? You understand? Yeah, she needs to go ahead and just, get more big rocks, little rocks, get away. I don't got time for people like Ana Navarro. Not at all. And a lot of people were saying negative things, but the negativity I saw towards Herman Cain just reveals ignorance. People talking about that mask. People are ignorant about the mask. The mask, listen to me clearly. This is not me just spitting out junk science. I'm not anti-science. The mask cannot shield you from the virus. The mask only prevents you from spreading it to others. It just prevents transmission. It does not shield you from it. That's the fact. So it is what it is. And I feel like the end result of the mask is going to be a lower immune system. We need to just kind of stop all this, go back out there. It's a low death rate. It is what it is. All right. Let's talk about the NBA right quick, because this is a really good story. Shout out to my man. I forgot my man's name. Hold on. Let me look it up right quick. Jonathan Isaac. Shout out to Jonathan Isaac of the Orlando Magic. He was the only one in the entirety of the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But he was the only player in the entirety of the NBA that did not participate in this whole kneeling and Black Lives Matter thing. And this was something that was organized and orchestrated. It wasn't just like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this right now on the spur of the moment. No, this was something that was organized. and well orchestrated and thought and planned about. Matter of fact, if you've not seen that video I did, I'll put it on the screen before you. I'll put a picture of it on the screen before you. This is Jonathan Isaac of the Orlando Magic NBA basketball team. Okay, so that's him right there, obviously. You got the guys that are kneeling. They got the Black Lives Matter shirts on. And he's standing up with his regular jersey on, head bowed during the anthem. All right, he's not going for what's happening here. And the reporter, what's her name? Taylor Rooks, you know, she Black Lives Matter, empathize or sympathize, talking about, do you think Black Lives Matter? You know, just really not unpredictable, unfortunately, but a dumb question. He's Black, obviously. And it's like, yes, Black lives do matter, but look, I don't need to wear a shirt or to kneel to submit to that. You know, I don't need to do that. And he brought up his faith. He's a Christian, a devout Christian. He actually, I think he is a preacher or has preached at a church in Orlando. 22 years old, really young, wise man. He's like, look, my faith in God, my faith in Jesus will be the thing that we should all kind of come together on, and that can help heal the nation. Whatever kind of problems we have, that can all be found in the gospel, and that's what I lean on. I don't want to do the Black Lives Matter. All of us matter in the gospel, you know? So what are you really going to do? How can you attack this man? First of all, he's Black. Second of all, you're talking about Christianity. So if you want to attack this man, you got to not only attack his religion, but also his race. In the name of Black Lives Matter, it's weird. And you know what? I was seeing some of these liberal lefty journalists, so-called journalists, attack this man, talking about, oh, you don't have on the Black Lives Matter shirt. I don't know, man. This is kind of crazy. This guy right here, matter of fact, I put it on the screen before you. So this guy right here, you see, this is the guy that criticizes you for not wearing your Black Lives Matter shirt and kneeling on the basketball court. All right. This is him. This is a dude right here that you will see. This is the guy that someone mentions all the time. Not him specifically, but that kind of guy. White liberal guy, guilty. I'll read this right here if you can't see it. I'm very curious about and will be patient for Jonathan Isaac's explanation here. Standing for the anthem is one thing, but seeming to be intentional about not wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt, I don't know, man. So it's like, all right, I'm a Black guy, right? I'm who you are purporting yourself to be defending, correct, sir? Mr. Dane Moore. So I have to explain to you why I don't want to kneel and don't want to wear a BLM shirt. Who are you to even request a explanation from me? You see what I'm saying? If Black Lives Matter, then it gotta be me too. I have the right to do whatever I want, period. And it's weird how what he's doing is seen as a protest. How is it a protest to stand for the anthem? The protest is kneeling for the anthem. He's just not doing the protest. They're saying he's protesting against their protest. It's like, nah, I'm doing my regular thing that I would normally do during the game. This is not a protest. I'm just doing what I am supposed to do, what I want to do, what I think is the correct thing to do. Oh yeah, definitely. He definitely, the NBA, the liberal mafia in general are anti-Christian all day long. Now, if it was Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf and he's doing, he's making a salat out there in the court, then it might be a little bit different, but different story. I digress. My whole point is that you got the white liberal media criticizing Black athletes for not wearing the BLM shirt. It's like, I mean, how can you even do that? But you know what? They've been given the green light by this BLM so-called movement. They're not even really being checked. You go around the country at these BLM so-called protests, ain't nothing but riots. You're going to see majority white people. Now, if you go to Atlanta or something like that, you might have a majority Black crowd in some of them. But for the most part, it's not like that. They're having BLM protests in Eugene, Oregon. It's like, how many Black folks are in Eugene, Oregon? I mean, come on. Like, you living in the whitest part of America. Like, you living in Pleasantville, USA, with, homogenous, been there for 1,000 years. What are you even doing? You just kind of bored and want some attention and want to be seen as woke, and you don't want to be seen as racist. But they've gone so far off the deep end and to the left, they've become racist. Okay, because white liberal guy trying to criticize a black guy about what he's doing as far as race, isn't that racist? I don't understand how it's not, but it is what it is. So shout out to Jonathan Isaac for not only refusing to participate in the BLM so-called protests, kneeling with the shirt and all of that, for expressing his Christian beliefs. A lot of guys having to be Christian in the closet can't even come out and express their faith. I think in the not NBA, the NFL, you can't go to church if it's over 25% capacity. But if you are going to a John Lewis funeral, there's no problem. Okay, that's not even the issue. You can go with 200 people at a John Lewis funeral, and that's fine, right? Hold on. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you some of this here. Okay, I think I got a good shot right here. Now, in all fairness, this is just kind of like where the majority, this is where people were at mostly. But I'm seeing quite a few people here. This is at John Lewis's funeral, and I'm seeing a nice little crowd there. All right. Now, why can't I have that? Why can't I go to a funeral like that from one of my loved ones? My uncle, I told you about my uncle, he died. I'm still mad about that. I'm never gonna get beyond that. I'll be able to, except my uncle died. He was 88. He was an elderly man, had a long life, a great life. I'm able to, get beyond that personally, but I'll never forgive them for not allowing me to go when they can do this. This is pure hypocrisy. Okay. It could only be 10 people at my uncle's funeral, but I'm seeing much more right here. This is just one part of the church. There probably was about 400 people in the church, at least. Maybe at least 200 to 400 people in the church. And where's distancing? They got masks on, that's fine, but ain't no distancing happening. So if they can wear masks and go to a funeral like that, then why can't I do it? Huh? It's all kind of double standards. It don't make no sense. It's just so dumb. I think Americans are pretty much done with all this stuff. Okay. Which is why it was great to go to that dinner last night at the Chattanooga Convention Center. It was a pretty decently packed event. We're shaking hands. We're hugging. We're beyond all this mad stuff. We're just done with it. It's over with, And it's weird how we having all these so-called protests, really riots every night. And the media are not pointing to that as being a spreader of the virus. And speaking of protests spreading the virus, did you guys see Anthony Fauci like a fish out of water flopping around with Jim Jordan? He had a very simple question to answer. Does the protests or do the protests spread the virus? Do they aid in spreading the virus? Are they a spreader of the virus? He was like trying to hem and haw. It's a pretty simple question. Do the protests spread the virus? He should be able to answer that very specifically rather than just defaulting to what he said, which was, large crowds of presence, that's not a good thing to go to. I didn't ask you all that, sir. Specifically, do the protests spread the virus? Okay, because if you want to talk about going to school and church and work and gyms, daycare, this, that, and the third, concerts, house parties, bars, having relations, all of that. If you want to go talk about all of that and get really clear with why you shouldn't do it and being specific, why can't you be specific with going to the protests? Why not? Why just default to the crowds thing? If it's about large crowds, then you can say that for anything. If somebody asks you about going to school, you can just say, don't be in a large crowd. Concert, don't go to large crowd. House party, no large crowds. You can just say that for everything rather than being very clear with each particular situation and having different rules for each. He said, avoid a large crowd because he didn't want to say, don't go out there and engage in these protests. And, the thing about protests, really riots, it's not even about the crowd necessarily. It's about all the action that's happening with the situation. All right. You got the fighting, the looting, the shooting, the carrying on. People, they screaming, they dancing, they twerking. You got all kind of sweat from the mouth and everywhere else, just flying everywhere. You got a petri dish happening at these so-called protests, really riots. He should be able to speak to that specifically like he did with everything else. Schools, bars, gyms, clubs, churches, everything else. But he didn't do that. Why? I mean, what's going on? You tell me what's going on. I was saying it 4 months ago, maybe even longer than that, that we should get rid of Fauci. He's just really in the way. I understand he might have been good under Reagan, all this, that, and the third. Okay, that's fine. But we bought, 30, 40 years later, we need to go to somebody else. This guy's not getting it done. Let's get some of these doctors that were out there in front of the Supreme Court and have them replace Fauci. They might have more success because what Fauci's doing ain't working. Fauci said, first, don't wear a mask. It ain't going to help you. Let people that are actually in the medical field wear them. They need them. Didn't he come out later and said the reason why he said that is because he didn't want to run on a mask and that we needed more PPE for the medical people? Didn't he say that? So was that a lie? So are you lying? If you were lying back then, are you lying right now? Huh? So was it a noble lie to do that, to preserve the mask? So is it a noble lie right now to prevent any kind of liability when you're talking about certain drugs? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. If you lied to me once, I got to question you when you're talking to me again and telling me to believe you this time. Yeah, I lied to you once, but it was to protect you. Okay, what about now? Are you lying? I can't really trust you. You're kind of damaging your trust here, sir. So yeah, this guy Fauci, he's got to go. He has got to go 1,000%. And normally I don't even really like watching these House hearings or Senate hearings or whatever because they don't really go anywhere. It's like the whole thing with, Hillary Clinton about to get locked up. Okay, that's fine. Well, when she gets locked up, when she's in the penitentiary, when she's in Gitmo making barrels and little rocks, when she's there, wake me up. But until then, I don't even really care. But it was good to see this House hearing because of what Jim Jordan was able to expose with Anthony Fauci, which is the inconsistency. Okay, lack of specifics when it came to the protests, but you got all the information and all the specifics about everything else up under the sun. Okay, if you're gonna be one way about one thing, be that same way about everything, not just when it benefits you or when it's politically expedient to do so. I don't like that at all. So yeah. And thank you all for joining. I most certainly appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing in the show so far, give me a thumbs up. Share the video. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. That'll help me out tremendously. And when you do subscribe, click the bell that's right there as well so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. Alrighty. And if you're listening to me on an audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, whatever you're on, give me a 5-star rating. Give me some kind of review over there, a share. Do whatever you can for me. I definitely appreciate you for that. All right. And what else we got going on? Let me get back to my next thing. Oh, yes, this is a good one that I wanted to cover again. If you guys didn't see my video, I did one about Trump talking about preserving the American dream. Did you guys see that one? He put out a tweet. He was like, hey, if you live in the American dream out in the suburbs, don't worry. We're not going to have low-income housing come to you to ruin your way of life, to ruin your property value. I thought that was a great tweet. I thought it was great, but some people didn't think that way. They were like, oh, this is racist. How is it racist to say that if you're living in the suburbs, I'm going to protect your way of life by not having low-income housing come right next to you? Wouldn't anybody want that in the suburbs? If you're living in the suburbs away from low-income housing, why would you want it to come to you? Isn't that why you live out there, to not be around that kind of environment? People think that if you, like, let's say you live in the city area, right? Like, let's just say, I don't know, for example, St. Louis is a good example because what happened to the McCloskeys, right? You live in St. Louis, right? You're living in the city area where it's dangerous at. You have some nice property here and there, like where the McCloskeys live, that mansion. You're right in the city. But maybe you don't want to live right in the city because you have low-income housing not very far away. It can be kind of dangerous. And you saw what happened with the McCloskeys. They had the BLM rioters break through their gate, come onto their property, threaten them. Now they facing legal troubles. Now, that would not have happened if they live out in the suburbs somewhere, Florence or wherever a nice suburb is in the St. Louis area. They'd be fine. They'd be chilling. Might have some acreage, some horses. They can go out there, go horseback riding, pick flowers. You know what I mean? Go fishing, have the whole American dream, be chilling. So if you lived in the city where you are in danger, face legal trouble, your physical well-being is at risk, you leave there to go out to the suburbs to get away from that. Why would you want the same element to come follow you? It doesn't make any sense. It's not a black or white or Asian or Puerto Rican Cain stripe. There's none of that type of thing going on. You don't want the element you left to follow you for a few reasons. First of all, the crime. It's an obvious crime element. Now, just because you live in a low-income area does not mean you're going to be involved in crime. Let's not get that twisted. However, we all know that there is a higher level of crime in the lower income area. Okay, that's just a fact. For a variety of reasons, people say that poverty causes crime. Not necessarily. You know, there's a lot of different things that cause crime. People that are just criminals. Okay, you don't have to be involved in crime if you are in poverty. That's not necessarily how that works. Okay, you have people that go live in poverty that work every day, working at Popeyes, McDonald's, whatever, low income jobs. I'm working in a hotel being a maid or something. They got low income work. They live in a low income area and they're trying to get out or whatever they do. They're trying to save money to leave. That's the whole point. I've been in the hood before. I grew up there. I know what it is to want every day to leave. I'm trying to figure out what can I do. I'm a little boy thinking about, I'm like 10 years old thinking about this. I'm like, okay, here I am. I'm in the hood. I'm in the ghetto. I'm hearing gunshots. I'm ducking down. What can I do in my future to not be here? That's all I ever thought about, like my whole childhood. You know, if I got a moment to myself, I can just think. That's what I thought about. And I was able to accomplish that. Now, after years of thinking about it growing up and years of striving to get there as an adult, why would I want to go back? Why would I want it to follow me? It doesn't make any sense. I was never no bad kid. I was always a good nerd, reading, never got no trouble in the hood. Mom worked all the time. My dad worked all the time. A lot of people in the hood work, they're just good, they're fine. But you're going to have that criminal element at a higher level in the hood. You're going to have the dope boys, the perverts. You're going to have, you know, all kind of people. You're going to have the dregs of society right next to regular normies that are just poor in low income area. And the objective is to get away from the bottom of society and move up. You don't want the dregs to follow you. Quick story right quick so I can just give you a little bit of understanding. If you didn't hear it in my previous video, when I was about 13 to 14, I'm in the hood, but my hood was not really a bad hood. It was okay. It was pretty quiet except for the occasional shooting. Somebody might get shot, might get beat up occasionally, but it wasn't going on all the time. Now, it was a project that got shut down called Outer Barber back in the day. And if you're living in Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, you know what I'm talking about. They shut down Outer Barber. And when they shut it down, they tore it down. They gave the residents housing vouchers to live in different parts of the area. You know, some went to like Virginia Beach, Chesapeake. Some came to where I lived in Portsmouth. In my neighborhood, our neighborhood, which was fairly quiet with the occasional violence, became an animal house overnight. Overnight. Dope fiends running around all hours of the night, crazy, banging on your door, trying to peek in your window. It was a mess. It was not safe for anybody to live, let alone kids or a single mom and kids. It was not safe. So anybody that could leave left. I guess what they call that, black flight, right? But it wasn't even about the race because everybody that was in my hood was black. And people that came from the project were black too. But we didn't want to be around the dregs of society. We didn't want to be around the lowest of the low, the cretins of the community. We didn't want to be around that. So you don't want to have them be moved right next to you in the suburbs. It'll kill your property value. It'll kill your way of life. You don't want that. So his tweet was not racist. Nobody wants to be in the hood unless they're a crackhead or a pervert or something like that. But a regular person does not want to be in the hood. You know, if you're poor, you want to be able to get money and leave. Okay? That's the objective. So what he said was not racist. But people thought that, oh, only blacks and Hispanics live in the ghetto, nobody white. There's more poor whites than anybody, but I guess they don't really count. Okay. And only, I guess, whites live in the suburbs. I live in the suburbs right now. I'm chilling. I'm not, and I got black neighbors, white neighbors, I got everybody. I'm not going to leave, period. So I wanted to get that off my chest because that was really there. Shout out to Leslie. Okay, Leslie, I used to live right there in Churchland, like way up North Churchland, and them apartments right there, like almost Suffolk. And they tore down Outer Barber This is a long time ago. It might be before you even lived. This is like in the 90s. They tore down Outer Barber like in like 98, 97, 98. They tore it down and they gave them vouchers to live where we lived at. And it was crazy. It was a madhouse. It was crazy. You don't want to live there. All right. But thank y'all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Everybody wants to live in the burbs. The American dream is for all Americans, period. It don't matter what color you are. It's for all of us. You can come from nothing, make it into something. You know, in other parts of the world, it's not even possible. You know, you're born in certain places, certain caste systems. You can't even really, if you're born there, you pretty much die there. But here in America, you can do anything you want. In America, you got to have a hard work ethic. You got to have breaks or just drive, determination, a brain in your head, good parents, good upbringing, some kind of way to become somebody. You can do that here in America. That's the American dream. We all want to strive for it. That's facts. And you don't want to have anybody to derail your American dream. Do not build any kind of low-income housing right next to where I live at. I've been struggling. I've been grinding for years. I'm talking about sacrifice. 10 years of my life grinding hard to get here. And then you're going to artificially just move people that have never had this kind of experience to even go through what I've gone through to put them right next to me. Nope. And then what'll happen is people will just leave your city altogether. If that's going, I'll just bounce. That's California right now. They're trying to do that over in California. It's like, nope, I'm good. You know, San Francisco, you got all kind of NGO type companies out there enabling the homelessness and the drug addicts. And you got a house that's like, you know, $2 million or something in San Francisco. And right outside, you got somebody just sitting in the old computer chair, shooting up heroin. It's like, man, why would I live right here? I don't want this right here. Get him out of here. Get him away from me. I'm going to move away. I'm going to Texas. I'm going to Arizona. I don't want to be here in filth, paying all this money I'm paying right now. You see what I'm saying? Alrighty. But yeah, I like where I'm at right now. It's all good. It's good, you know, and they don't even really play. It's not even a lot of rental properties out here. If you want to rent, you pretty much got to rent a small apartment. You can't even rent no house. Like you got to buy, like the way they got it set up is nice. It's nice. Everything is good. They keep areas pretty much straight. It's low crime. It's a good system they have here. But other parts of the country, not so much. All right. What else we got going on? We had a whole lot happening tonight. I'm reading the chat right quick. Yeah, shout out to the Californians in the chat. I pray for you guys, man, because I know it's rough out there. I know it's really rough. Suburbs is a new hood. Well, hey, we can't have that happening. Not out here, it's not. Not out here. Exactly, Ken Stan. Take a person out the hood, can take the hood out the person. If you take a hood person and move them to the suburbs, they're still going to behave the same as they did in the hood. You know, if they're a hood person, like you can come from the hood and not necessarily be a hood person, if that makes any sense. You know, you can be that, but I still say the same thing. If you want to leave the hood, leave a dangerous area and come to a nice area, you just got to build yourself up and get to that point in your life. You can't just have it handed to you automatically. It doesn't work like that. It's called social engineering. That's not how we're going to operate here in America. Not at all. All right. So thank you all for joining. You guys are fantastic. Super chats on that. I'm going to get to those right quick and then we get to the calls. Shout out to Zachary Titchen who says, you see Nina Turner. Oh, did I say Nina Turner comparing voting Biden to eating a bowl of stuff, a bowl of doo-doo? You should get on left versions of YouTube debate, Tim Black, Nico House, etc. Fan here. Yeah, I actually met Tim Black in Nashville at Politicon. What was that, last year? It was a cool dude, you know, nice person. I'll debate anybody anytime. It's no problem. Shout out to RC for the donation who says, word, appreciate you for that. Thank you to Boosie Buck for becoming a member of the ABL squad. Thank you to Flick Story Entertainment who says, thank you for inspiring me, ABL. I added a new section to my channel called Logic News, combines history and politics, truth and nothing but the truth. Peace. Thank you for that. Thank you to Bucolic Buffalo who says, ABL live is Saturday night all day long. Thank you to Jim Jones who says, much love from the Bay Area, ABL. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Poofy who says, get it, Anthony. Hey, I can't do nothing else. Thank you for that. Thank you to Andrew Madison who says, keep it up with the workout emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Praying for the Rapture. I read that one already about Elon Musk banning TikTok from his employees or banned them from having it. Yeah, I think he did. Thank you to Interracial Patriots who says, hey, ABL, we are checking in early. We will call in later. I hope to get through. We are about to get our popcorn and watch the show. And thank you for that. I appreciate you guys. And shout out to them on YouTube. Interracial Patriots, check them out. Thank you to, let me see. Oh, shout out to Beta Bootcamp who says, the JLP fam loves ABL. Hey, shout out to Justin Lee Peterson. He black. Hey, shout out to y'all. Thank you to Stacey Felice who says, Maxine Waters shamed the late Herman Cain by hinting that it was his fault for going to President Trump's rally in Oklahoma City, not Oklahoma City, but in Tulsa, Oklahoma, without a mask. She said that Cain was Trump's friend. Get your story straight, Maxine. Is Trump a racist or not? Exactly. All right. So on one hand, you want to say Trump's a racist. He hates black folks, but then you got, all kind of friends, from all walks of life, different colors. It's like, which one is it? I mean, they're shameless. They'll use anything to attack the president. They don't care if somebody died. It don't even really matter to them. Thank you to Video Champ who says, love your take on things every day, supporting what I love. You and the others keep me sane. I appreciate you for that, man. Thank you for that. Thank you to Jonathan DeForest who says, hey, ABL, leftists on Facebook accuse me of weaponizing black people's opinions in regards to BLM whenever I share yours or B. Tatum's videos. I can't voice my opinion because I'm white. What are your thoughts? Weaponizing black people's opinions. How does it make any sense? I mean, the information is out there. It's out there. So, I mean, if she posts a video from a black person that has an opposing opinion than I do, she did the same thing. Y'all got swords, right? She has her weapon. You got your weapon too. Her weapon is the positive affirmation of BLM from a black person, and yours is the negative from a black person. Y'all doing the same thing. So she's a hypocrite, a stomp down stone cold hypocrite, and the moron too. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Matthew Hammond who says, what about Sargon of Akkad and Lauren Southern asking backers to file arbitration cases against Patreon, joining Owen Benjamin and his fans? Oh my goodness. Oh man, thank you for asking that question. Matthew Hammond, thank you for asking me that question. These people are morons. Look, Sargon of Akkad, Lauren Southern, Owen Benjamin, straight morons. First of all, Owen Benjamin just trying to get money for himself. He's just trying to get paid from Patreon through the lawsuit. He sees dollar signs. It's not even about nothing else. Listen, if you have 3 creators that are kind of conservative, like I wouldn't even see Sargon as a conservative or Owen Benjamin, Lauren Southern a little bit, but you got 3 people that got an issue with Patreon. That's between them and Patreon, not me or you or anybody else. You got thousands of guys on Patreon that are conservative with no problem. You got thousands of creators on Patreon who are conservative that have no problem. Thousands. Remember when the whole apocalypse thing happened back in 2017 and everybody went to Patreon to get their income supplemented because, YouTube was censoring us and we couldn't make no money, all this and that. Patreon was a saving grace back then. Okay, a lot of us still over there making a good living right now. Okay, a lot of guys over there they're straight right now. But you got 3 people that got a problem and we got to shut Patreon down. We got to sue Patreon. What? Why? For what? It makes no sense. If Owen got a problem, Sargon got a problem, they handle it with Patreon themselves. Don't get me involved. You shouldn't be involved either. That's their problem. It's like if somebody get fired from the job, but you gonna quit your job too? Like if you work at a job with somebody and they get fired, what you gonna quit because they got fired? No, that's between them and the company. I mean, to me, it's just kind of crazy. They are weaponizing their fan base to try and get cash. And personally, I don't got no dog in the fight, really. Patreon is cool, but if it was to go away today, I wouldn't be hurt. I'd be okay. So I don't make a living over there at all. Like at all. So it wouldn't hurt me. I'm just saying it don't make no sense for people to say, okay, let's sue Patreon and kill the website because of 3 people that got a problem. Let them handle their problem with Patreon themselves. You got thousands of guys on there that are fine and conservative. It was a refuge for us when YouTube was not able to pay us or whatever. Now you want to kill it for what? Because, okay, the thing about Patreon is I was reading that if Patreon has to arbitrate, they got to pay for each one. It's like $10,000 each. That could just kill them. So no, nah. That is their problem, period. I don't care. I said the same thing about Sargon some years ago. I got a lot of hate for it, but I don't care. I'm going to send them what I say because I know I'm right. And once it's all over with, you know that I'm right. 1,000. Anytime I say anything like this, it always turns out to be right. Trust and believe me. All right. So how do y'all feel about Owen Benjamin and Sargon and Lauren Southern and their Patreon issues? I thought that was like old news, really. But then I saw it again on my social media. I'm like, what? Is that still going on for real in 2020? Well, all the ways that YouTube has improved since then, they got super chat, they got merchandise. Like, what are y'all even crying about? It's all about trying to get money from a lawsuit from Patreon. It's not about their livelihood or anything else. It's not censoring because most guys that are over there have no problem. I've been there for a long time with no problem. Tatum over there, other guys that are white, black, Puerto Rican, they over there with no problem. Okay, I'm moving on to the next thing. I'm kind of getting triggered over here. My favorite hat, I think I like the We the People. That's probably my favorite one. This one as well. I like these. Okay, so who else did they cancel? Who did they cancel? They canceled Sargon, Lauren Southern, and Owen Benjamin. Who else? Can you name 10 out of the? You got tens of thousands that are over there. Guys you never even heard of before are over there making a good living. You know, so I mean, who else got hurt by Patreon? I'm trying to figure that out. Nah, ain't no censoring. I know I'm right, and you'll see that I'm right. Matter of fact, hold on. I got a video I'm gonna play right quick, and then it'll put it all in context, and you understand what I'm saying. Trust and believe me on this one, you guys. And matter of fact, if you guys think differently, that's great. I love it. You guys know I love debates. So please call in a little bit later when I open the lines up to discuss this whole kerfuffle with me, because I love to get people's opinions and have a conversation about it. Okay, hold on. Here's one right here. It's this from your guy, Owen Benjamin. I'm right about this. I'm willing to bet you cash. Believe me. Okay, hold on. Check it out. This is from Owen Benjamin. Now, the title of this is Patreon lawsuit was never meant to benefit anyone but Owen.
Everyone hates Patreon. Everyone hates PayPal. Hates. And so now that it's come, there would have been an option where it never came out, where they just apologized, let me back on, paid our lawyer fees. But no, and we're not motivated by money.
Okay. Let's go back one time. Let's repeat that because you missed it. All right. Let's repeat it one time, and then I'll just tell you what he said. If it's too low, I'll just repeat what he said to you so you can understand what's going on, okay?
Everyone hates Patreon. Everyone hates PayPal. Hates. And so now that it's come, there would have been an option where it never came out, where they just apologized, let me back on, paid our lawyer fees. But no, and we're not motivated by money.
So, all right, he's saying that PayPal sucks, Patreon sucks. I've been on PayPal since college, 15 years. But beyond that, no problems ever. Throughout everything I was doing back in the day with flyers, never had a problem. Okay, PayPal sucks. I don't think so, sir. Then he says Patreon sucks. Well, we could just bypass a lawsuit. All they gotta do is let me back on and pay my lawyer fees, but it's not about money. It's not about money, but you want to get paid your lawyer fees and you want to get back on the platform to continue to make money. It ain't about money. Then what is it about? What is it about? I mean, I'm trying to figure it out, sir. But whatever. I'll get back to the super chats and then I get back to the calls a little bit later. Okay. Let's get to the next one here. Thank you to Steve Farino Plays for your donation. I appreciate you. Thank you to Benzi's Child who says, do you think the communist Ardern, the president in New Zealand, getting another term could help Biden ride a globalist wave into the White House? Hashtag make Ardern go away. Hashtag MAGA. I think that it probably won't matter over here in the States. People don't know who that is. People are kind of ignorant here in the States, honestly. If you were to show them a map that was unlabeled, they could not point to New Zealand. That's just being real. I'm serious. They don't know what New Zealand is, where it is, who the president is, or anything. Okay, I know because this is what I do for a living, and I study geography. But most normies over here have no idea, so it wouldn't help us over here in the States. Okay, shout out to Matthew Hammond who says Bill Haggerty is another Bob Corker, Lamar Alexander. No, I met him yesterday, and I know people that know him personally. I know people that know him that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know people that are in office, people that are very influential around here in Tennessee that know him, and it's not like that. Manny Sethi is a nice man, very nice man, but the thing about Manny Sethi is that he does not contribute to anybody that's conservative. Now, it's not even about the money, but at the same time it is, because I'm going to explain to you why. Sethi was a liberal, of course. That's not a secret. He put it in his campaign video. He wanted to be in Obama's White House, and he supported Obamacare back then. He has since reversed it, spoke out against Obamacare, and he's a conservative now. I get it. That kind of like applies to a lot of us that are listening right now. We were liberal and became conservative. That's fine. That's cool. However, when he was a liberal, he did try to run for office. So he's not a new person in politics. And when he was over there, he would contribute to liberal campaigns. He would give to liberal people. Okay. Financially, he would give. But over here, he's not done that at all. So I'm like, well, why have you given to anybody? Okay. I don't really understand what's going on. And then last night, I heard him speak. He was in the same room with me. Last night, I heard him speak, and he said that he wants to tear down the Republican establishment. Republican establishment? Don't you mean the establishment, the swamp? Why the Republican establishment? You want to tear that down? How about Democrat establishment? Or just in general in government? He just comes off as a guy that's like a plant. Although I think he's a nice man, I don't really trust him very well. He does not have the experience I like. I like Haggerty because of his experience. And also the fact that he's given to others, people that you don't know, you would never see. He's given. He's involved in the community. Sethi is not. It is what it is. So Bill Haggerty is the best choice. But I was compelled by Sethi's advertisements. It was kind of a struggle to me to figure out who I wanted. But then when I spoke to people that are around here that know him, that know both people, I was convinced. All right. Shout out to Marion Vidal, who says, riddle me this. Planned Parenthood issued a statement on illegal aliens. Every person deserves a chance to live. I rolled my eyes so hard, my brain is having neuron spasms. I see stars. That's crazy. So Planned Parenthood says every illegal deserves to live. How about the kids they kill every day? They don't? Interesting how that works. They also, Marion Vidal, Planned Parenthood also said that Black Lives Matter. Really? How about 22 million that have been killed by abortion since 1973 Roe v. Wade? How about those black lives? Do they matter? Do they count as lives? I'm not really sure what's going on. All right. Thank you to Dwayne Mosley for the donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Thank you to Brewer95 who says, I like Dr. Fauci, mask, chin strap at the baseball game. Exactly. My man had it under his chin, under his nose, everywhere, talking about, oh, I was getting a drink of water. Sir, come on, be for real, man. You just had it like that. You like this, chilling with your mask off. You were in laid back mode. You were not eating or drinking anything. You were just relaxing at the baseball game with no mask on because you know that masks don't work. If you don't have the virus, which you don't because you get tested, you probably take some kind of drug, HCQ, you probably take some kind of drug, you know you don't have it, there's no point in wearing it. You said it yourself, Fauci, the mask can only prevent you from spreading it. It cannot prevent you from getting it. Thank you to Spicy Stir Fry who says, thank you with the emoji. Thank you to Retro Gamer 81 who says, just turned off the NHL after their disgusting BLM display. Thought they were different, but no. Oh man, did they really do it? The NHL? I saw the NHL. They were all standing. I guess it might have just been two teams that did that, but maybe some other guys that did something different. That's crazy. But hey, can you say you're surprised? I'm not really surprised. Just disappointed at the NHL for doing the BLM display. Thank you to Mod Q23 who says another win for Nebraska Health Director, tried mask mandate, and governor and mayor of Omaha slapped it out of her hand. Unconstitutional. Hey, shout out to, that's why voting local really matters, because you got to know who's in there, who has your best interests at heart, who's going to protect you. Where I am right now in Tennessee, they got a so-called mask mandate in Hamilton County, but anybody enforcing it, the police chief got on camera and said, I'm not enforcing it. So what? And what you going to do? You going to fire them? You going to fire all the police? What you going to do? Ain't nobody enforcing that. Thank you to Tree Climber who says, ABL the truth. Thank you for that. Thank you to Apu Bakr, All Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABL, awesome chat with Brandon, Derek, and Modern Renaissance Man. And shout out to Modern Renaissance Man, a great guy. If you guys are not subscribed to Modern Renaissance Man, go ahead and do that right now on the YouTubes. He continues, how do you answer your liberal critics who say that y'all have internalized racism and hate and that y'all just want to be popular among conservatives? Well, internalized racism, what does it even mean? I don't even know what that means. You know, like I would challenge them to say anything like, look at what we're saying and ask themselves, is it false? Are we telling any kind of lies? If we're not lying, then what's even the point of being upset? One thing I don't do is traffic in lies. I'm an honest person, even sometimes to a fault. I'm very honest. So we're not lying at all. We're telling them 1,000% truth, first of all. Second of all, if we wanted to really get money and be popular among people, we'd be on the left. Like I said before, Black Lives, LIES matter. They got $20 million in one day after George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis. 20 million in one day, $20 million. Now, George Floyd's family came on TV and said, hey, we've not gotten a dime of that money. So, I mean, the real grift, the money grab was on the left all day long. They own all the media. They own all the NGOs, academia, everything. So being over here is much more risky to our lives and everything. So it makes no sense. We're just being honest. We're just, some of the few that are able to do it. Shout out to Abu Bakr, Al Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABO, you said your acquaintance makes $80,000 a month for speaking against white privilege. Do you think the 10 wives and others actually believe in white privilege exists, or do they know it's phony, baloney, fake news? Now, first of all, it's not my acquaintance. I know of him, but I don't know him. Like, if I was to see him, I would not know who he is, but I know who he is at the same time, if that makes any sense. Yes, this guy is going around making $80,000 per month giving anti-white speeches. It's a pretty good gig. Like I said, if I was trying to get paper, I go to the left. This guy, you don't know, you never seen him before. If you were to see him, you wouldn't know who he is. Does not go on TV. This is a low-level guy. So imagine what 10 Wise and guys like that get paid for speaking engagement. 10 Wise has spoken at Google. Imagine how much you get paid to speak at Google. You're talking about easily 6 figures for one engagement. For one engagement, 6 figures. One talk, 30 minutes, 100 racks. Okay. Do they believe it? Maybe they do. I can't really tell. Sometimes I kind of doubt it, but nowadays it's kind of hard to tell. Thank you to Tanya Danielle, who says, keep it up. Thank you for that. Thank you to Apu Bakr, Al Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABL, are you recognized in public, like in supermarket, in stores, shopping mall? What are their reactions? I am recognized in public, yes. A lot of black folks come up to me. One time, it was like kind of emotional. It was a lady that, it was like an older black lady, like my mom's age. She came up to me and was like, are you on YouTube? And we talked for a little bit. And she wanted to hug, and it was just like almost, I had like one tear formulated right here. She was like, keep doing what you do. We need you to be out here. I get that all the time. So yeah, and depending upon where I'm at, I can recognize more. If I'm in a more conservative place, people know who I am. But just walking around, I'm kind of low key. But people know who I am for the most part. Thank you to Maria Michiano for becoming an ABO supporter. Thank you to Matthew Hammond, who says, like Dr. Manny Sethi in the Republican primary. I talked about him already. Thank you for that. Thank you to Apu Bakr, Al Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABL, Dinesh D'Souza put out this Twitter poll. If could only indict one, then who? Mr. Obama for Crossfire Hurricane, or B, Mr. Clinton for Epstein Island? What say you, ABL? Let me get that Clinton for Epstein Island for 10,000, Alex. Yeah, all day long. Put Bill Clinton up under the jail, Gitmo, big rocks, little rocks. Make it happen right now. Matter of fact, give him the rope if it's called for. All right. Thank you to Holly T. Lightwork, who says liberalism is another term for elitism. There you go. Very good. Thank you to Justice Smith, who says, do you think we should keep qualified immunity? I think so. Thank you to Curtis Ritter for becoming an ABO supporter. Thank you to, let me get back to where I was. Thank you to Mr. Tix, who says BLM promotes destruction of the nuclear family, not protecting black lives or any lives for that matter. The sad thing is the people protesting / rioting for them will be the first to go. Exactly. That's how it works in the communist state. Thank you to Brian Stevenson, who says ABL, a true American, is a young black man and conservative. I will continue to support you and thank you for your content. And thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Cynthia for your donation. I appreciate you as well. Shout out to Ryan Walker, who says, will you be running for president in 2024? ABL for president? I don't know. I might start small, might start locally here first and work my way on up. Shout out to Jason Capo Bianchi. Hopefully I got that right, boss, who says, are you ready for Ivan to call? hey, whenever, whoever calls, I'm ready for whatever. Shout out to, let me see. Rachel Catherine _2310 for becoming an ABL superstar. Thank you to Michelle Bryan for your donation. Thank you to Erica Blair for your donation. Thank you to Tony Boswell, who says there are 3,300 in the chat. Smash that like button and show support. Yeah. Shout out to Tony Boswell. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that helped me out tremendously. Thank you to Rosa Bianchi, who said, thank you very much for your opinion on Patreon. It's not what I've been hearing or feeling, but you have given me something to consider. Thanks. And thank you for that. I'm glad you're open-minded to hear my point of view, but I've been thinking the same thing from the very beginning about Patreon. It's reminding me of this whole bake the cake situation. It reminds me of that. If you look at it and zoom out, it's like that. And let's get to the calls. You guys have been great. The best audience on the internet. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. All right, let me see. Let me get everything under control so you don't hear the ringing and stuff in the background. Yeah, I have so much to read, but I'm going to get to I want to read those a little bit later. Because if I read the super chats, I'll be here for a while. I'll read those at the end of the show. Okay, let's get this here working properly. Okay, the ringer is on. Oh, and also, if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. That helped me out tremendously. And when you do subscribe, click the bell as well. If you click the bell, you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. All right. And let's get to the first call. All right, Matt, what's happening?
ABL, what's going on, man?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
That Fauci's full of it, man. His whole thing with Jim Jordan he wouldn't say protest is a gathering of people, and wouldn't even use the word protest to say that it spread the virus in any way, shape, or form. But at the same time, I was watching what he was saying, but covered by CNN, and I was looking at all the comments, and everybody thought Jim Jordan was a moron, for not understanding why he wouldn't say protests spread coronavirus.
Yeah, I don't understand that, because the thing is, you got to put it into context. Fauci has mentioned other things specifically. He talked about schools, churches, gyms, bars.
But not protests.
But not protests.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so why just stop right there? You mentioned everything else. Why stop right there?
Yeah, and I think people are just really looking for someone to say something that's not doublespeak or newspeak or whatever. It's a very Orwellian. And the whole mask thing, there's two pretty conclusive studies from 2015 in Vietnam where they were looking at the effectiveness of cloth masks versus the N95 medical grade sealed mask and the filter and everything like that. They're not effective, and they're 97% ineffective actually is what the findings were. And then this whole idea that you're going to wear your mask on your ear while you're going to bite ice cream or drink something. I'm not a doctor, but that sounds like absolutely idiotic. The virus is like, okay, everybody, hold on, he's eating. Let's not infect him at this moment. Give the man some peace. It's not the way the disease works. And I had a kind of a profound discussion with my 10-year-old son today because I've been kind of using them to get stuff. So I send them in the store. with my credit card to go buy ice cream or whatever, and or get a burger, because I don't wear them around here and I'm in Seattle. And he said, "Dad, why is everybody making us wear masks?" And he's like looking at everybody else in the ice cream store and they don't have a mask on because they're eating the ice cream. And I said, well, there were some bad people a long time ago in Germany, and they made people wear a star. And I feel that this whole mask thing is a compliance thing. They want to make you do it. And the Jews actually wore stars. You know, a lot of them, you know, took pride in wearing it. And it's a compliance thing, and it's a little bit of it makes people feel they're doing something when there's really nothing you can do. Because I mean, what can you do about this?
Nothing.
So, pretty much nothing. I think I'm okay with just taking hydroxychloroquine. You know, I'm working on getting some. I'm buying gold and silver. I'm buying bullets. You know,
smart man.
Guns. Yeah, and I'm not going to try to give other people advice, but I'd recommend everybody do it. So that's all I got for you. I want to say I really appreciate you and your show, and you're a valuable news source. I share you around a lot. Like and subscribe this thing, guys. Thanks.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Great call from my man, Matt. Thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. There's an email for Skype. You can be right there in the bottom left-hand corner in the description box below the video. Nippin, what's happening, boss?
Not bad. How are you? Let me just mute the stream.
Alrighty.
Here we go. So, Tick-Tock has been banned. Or is going to be banned?
It's probably going to be banned. That's what it's looking like because Trump already announced it. So that could be going on any day now.
And you know what? I couldn't be happier. Because it's owned by the Chinese mafia party.
Yep, pretty much. That's right.
Look, there's no other way to put it. China is a mafia.
Yeah.
The way they run is run like a mafia. You say something bad about them, they will either deport you or kill you.
Right, exactly. And then the thing about it is the parent company of TikTok has people from the Chinese Communist Party that are actually on the board working there. So they want to make sure that they comply with whatever the government wants them to do.
Well, only listen to what you want to hear, basically.
Right.
So, yeah, before I go on, I would like to pay my condolences to Herman Cain and his family for him losing his life. Great man.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. A great man. Very unfortunate that he passed away. You know, so we can just celebrate his life and know that he was a great man for sure.
So an NBA star refuses to take a knee. Well done. Couldn't be happier for you.
That's right. I'm very happy for him. You know, it takes a brave man to do something like that because it seems like everybody in the NBA, well, everybody in the NBA did do it. So he was the only guy that didn't do it.
Yeah, like I think it was back in 2017. There was another guy who I think his name was Alejandro Villanueva.
And what was that? What sport was that?
No, NFL.
Okay. Yeah. That was. I think it was. He was on the Steelers.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
And you know what baffles me the most about these NFL/NBA players?
What's that?
Is that, like, they came to the UK once. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars kneeled for Star Spangled Banner, but stood for God Save the Queen.
So it was right.
And the ironic thing is, the person singing Star Spangled Banner was black. Do you remember that thing I'm trying to? Can you envision? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Controversy.
Yeah, and it was also one where in the NFL, a guy kneeled for the United States national anthem, but he stood for the Mexican one because they were playing in Mexico City. So it was like, okay, I don't understand what's going on here. But I do understand what's going on. These people just don't like America. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I stand for every national anthem. I mean, like, I stand for mostly the British national anthem and the Indian national anthem because, you know, my parents are from India.
Right.
So, yeah, that's one thing. And Jim Jordan grills Fauci. Does the protest spread the virus? Of course they spread the virus. I mean... I mean, like, you decide, yeah, you either do it both ways, like, or you don't do it at all.
Right, exactly. They said that large crowds, they spread the virus. So why not just say, yes, the virus is spread by the protests? It seems pretty simple to me.
Yeah. Well, look, the left would just say, oh, the Black Lives Matter rally does not spread the virus, but the Trump rally does.
Right. It's pretty silly.
So, yeah, there's that. And something so yeah, 100 police agencies back out of the 2020 DNC Milwaukee convention, where Biden was meant to accept the nomination.
Yeah, because they what they did was they prevented the police locally from using pepper spray and tear gas to calm the crowds down. So if you can't use those less than lethal methods of crowd control, what's the point in going? Because now you're going to be in danger. You're going to be at risk. It doesn't make any sense. So we're going to pull out. We're not going to be here. So if you can't find anybody for the event, you might as well cancel it because we're not going to put our lives in danger.
You know, I've always said this, defund the DNC, not the police, the DNC.
There you go. Absolutely.
And there's, oh God, what was it?
Well, I got limited time here.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Texas. A lot of Californians are now moving there. You know what? That really worries me.
Yeah, because if they keep the same ideology they had in California and move it to Texas, now you're going to try to transform Texas into a different place, and we can't really afford that.
I'm actually genuinely scared that they could transform it into California 2.0. Something I don't want. Something. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but if things keep going like this, it actually pains me. I could see Texas becoming competitive within the next few election cycles. I mean, I hate to say it, but the way things are going, I can see it happening.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully not.
Hopefully. But I am a little skeptical now. But if Texas, it won't. But if it does flip, we are in trouble. We are in serious trouble.
That's right. Hey, man, thank you for your call. I got a lot of calls online. Definitely appreciate you, man.
It was nice speaking to you, ABL.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
I shall speak to you on Wednesday.
I'll speak to you then.
Peace.
All right. Shout out to all you guys in the building. The number to call, 434-658-1220. All right, call you on the line, 77. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, it's Trey again.
All right, Trey, what's going on?
Hey, man, get this. You ever heard the controversy surrounding Lee Davis High School?
No.
In Richmond?
Are they changing the name?
Oh, they already did. They don't even have a name change ready yet. They just removed Lee Davis from high school and we are at high school at this point.
That is crazy. That's ridiculous. I mean, come on. I mean, it could just come up with a generic name for the moment. Just high school. That's crazy.
It's gonna be like public school number 1 something, public school number 52.
Exactly.
It's crazy. I mean, and just imagine the high school getting called high school number 45. Oh, we got to change that. That's Donald Trump's number.
Exactly. That's crazy.
And on another note about the COVID, I did the math. on the death rate, if you take the amount of people died versus the amount of people who contracted it, it's literally a less than 1% chance of death. But they're still acting like if you take your mask off, that's all of a sudden you're trying to kill everybody out in America.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, what's the purpose of even trying to hide from this thing? And I feel like people haven't really been tested that much. Some people have, a lot of us have, but not everybody. If you were to test everybody, you would have a much higher rate of infection, therefore a much lower rate of death. So trying to hide and shut the economy down and spend all this money does not even make any sense. It's a pointless thing to even do.
I know, and I remember, I'll tell you this one story. I had gone on my lunch break from a job, and I went to Panera Bread, right? And it was hot outside because usually what I do is I got to take the packages out to the cars and go back in and out of the Kohl's, and it was on my lunch break. And so I decided to go to Panera Bread. I walk in, and I'm panting, so I peel my mask back off my face. And this lady who comes out from the kitchen, no hello, no how's it going, said, "Excuse me, sir, could you please keep your mask on?"
Wow. It's like, man, you're just attacking me. It's like, this minds your business. I'm minding my business. I'm taking my mask off for a brief moment to get a little bit of air. I mean, people are crazy though. But you know what that is? People are afraid. They're scared to death. They think that if your mask comes off, then the world's going to end. You're going to have monsters that come out and attack you. People are crazy because of this fear.
I know, but you can take it off when you eat.
And right. It's crazy. Like, you go to a restaurant, you got to wear the mask in the restaurant, sit down and take it off. It's like, if I could do this, what was the point of wearing it in the restaurant? It makes no sense.
I know, right? All right, man. Well, thanks for taking my call. Hope you have. Oh yeah, thanks for everything. Thanks for the shout out video you gave me.
Oh, no problem, man. It's all good, man. And thank you for calling in. Definitely appreciate you, man.
No problem. Keep it real, man.
All right, now. All right, shout out to Trey for the call. And thank y'all for being here. Let me get to the next call. Calling online, I'm speaker 217.
See whether we'll be there to respond to it.
Caller.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's happening?
You gotta keep showing up. You got. So hey, I got a question. So I guess you guys get paid like 1,000 viewers, things like $10 or something, and then depends on the algorithm, increase it to the thousands of dollars.
Man, look, I don't have no money at all. I'm broke. Can I get $5, please?
You're right.
Can I get $1?
Let's go down. Let's go down to business. Hey, Jim Jordan is an idiot. Why are you arguing when the expert already told you when people congregate, no mask, and they close to one to another, from each other, is a recipe for the virus to spread? Why you have to say it about the protester? Obviously, the protesters is a recipe for the virus to spread around. It's common sense. So why this idiot is asking this dumb question?
Is that a dumb question? Wait. Is that a dumb? Wait, sir. Is that a dumb question? Because
it's a dumb question.
I'm gonna finish my answer. You get the question.
Okay.
Now the answer is Fauci has said things about other places specifically, and it was a crowd in the place: school, churches, bars, restaurants, cruise ships. So if you want to be talking about those places specifically, why not a protest? Isn't that also being specific as you were before? Just be consistent. Thank you for the tea.
Well, so Jake Tapper from CNN asked Fauci that if the president should go with the rally that he had. That I think I don't remember which state he had the rally when the McCain apparently got sick. We don't know. And Dr. Fauci said to him, he said, "Hey, I'm not here to talk about politics. I already mentioned to you, large crowd, no mask, and close contact is a recipe for the virus to spread. That's not his job to be saying, oh, the protester over here. People asking questions like, Mark Cuban asking about how could restart the NBA. And Fauci said, even you have separate people, like from one chair from another, it's a recipe for the virus to spread because people will drink it, people will remove their masks, people will do certain things, and they'll say, it's still a recipe for the virus to spread. That's what.
Okay, so if Fauci if Fauci, I'm gonna talk. If Fauci can speak about, sir, you're gonna have to be quiet because you gotta listen to what I'm saying, because if you ain't talking anyway. Now, if Fauci can talk about churches specifically, then why not protest specifically?
He didn't say anything about churches.
Yes, he did. He sure did. You're lying.
No,
You're lying.
You're wrong. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. He said if people congregate, major congregation, close contact, no mask is a recipe for the virus to spread if one person had it. He was in a call with Dr. Kim from South Korea. They both said the same thing. So why Americans cannot be like the Koreans, man? The Koreans listen to Dr. Kim, ask him good questions.
Now here's a quote about churches. Okay, now crowds in church are important, and every time I get a chance to say it, I mention it. When you say less than 10, it makes common sense that involves the church. So he's talking about the church specifically having less than 10 inside the church. So why can't you say if you're going to have a protest, have X amount of people? He said that about the church. Why not about protests?
That's not, he's giving you an advice.
Sir, he said it about churches. He said it specifically, 10 people. He was sir, listen to me, quiet. He said 10 people in the church. So why not give a number for the protest? You did it for the church. Why not the protest?
Are you that?
Sir, listen to the question. The question, you got to just shut your mouth and listen. He said about churches, let's have 10 people in the church, right? That's what he said, and it's a quote from him. I have it right in front. I'm reading it right now from Science Magazine, okay? So if you said that about churches, why not about the protest? Give a specific number and hold to that. You know what? You were talking the whole time, and when you're talking, I can't hear you at all, and nobody else can. So there's no purpose in you talking to yourself. So can you answer the question?
Well, yeah, but let me explain to you what he said about
Can you answer the question? Is yes or no? Can you, sir? The question was, can you answer the question? Yes or no?
So he's supposed to.
Sir, the question was, can you answer the question? Yes or no?
Give you about every single aspect of life.
Sir, the question was very simple.
Are you that?
Look, Ivan, listen to me now. I'm trying to be nice to you. I don't have to hang up on you this early, but the question was very simple. If he can say, let's have 10 people in the church, which is very political because church is something that you can't really mess with. You get freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, constitution. 10 in the church, why not say 10 or 15 or 20 in the protest? Why not do that? It's something simple.
In 1918, churches were shut down. So what's the problem now?
You're not listening. You're not listening. So I'll give you last chance. Okay, all right. I don't gotta. You're not really cooperating tonight. Thank you for your call. But I'll ask you guys in the chat, since Ivan doesn't want to just keep his trap shut. If you have 10 in the church, and he says, let's do 10 in the church, that's going to be the number. Why not say for a protest, have 20 in the protest, 50 in the protest, and have it like that? Have everything sanctioned to be that way. If you want to talk about church and involve people's religious liberty, freedom of assembly, constitutional rights, religious rights, okay. Talk about that, not the protest. What's going on? You tell me. All right. Let's get to the next call. Now I want to know you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, I can't believe it. Hey, Anthony, let me turn you off here. Hey, how's it going, my brother?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
3 times in a row, I've got you, man. I can't believe it.
It's all good, man.
I was just gonna say, hey, you showed it earlier, and they had our racist flag on John Lewis's coffin.
Oh, they sure did.
You know? Also, the Dems at their convention, they need to get them in fact guys, the black paramilitary guys, except for they're shooting each other, to do the DNC convention.
Nah, they could get them for a pretty decent discount because these guys they can't hit nothing. I mean, you had the guys out there with their rifles. They probably be shooting each other.
The target, that's what I'm saying. They have shot each other.
They did. They sure did. Yeah.
Also, the white. There was a white coach who I think it was gun day, also with the black young athlete, NBA player, a white. They won't say anything about him standing for the national anthem. You know.
Right. Of course.
And then Ivan. Man, he's always dogging you, trying to get you about your entrepreneurship. He has the same opportunities you have to make money. what? I don't get this guy. He's often left field half the time.
Yeah, hey, I don't know.
And I have one more thing here. Man, I got to put my glasses on 1 second.
Okay.
This won't take but a second. I'm hurrying. Oh, and I was going to ask, did you ever look at that thing about that pregnant lady where the young man, or did people attack the pregnant lady and the young man kicked the 3-year-old daughter in the face or something?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, people are just losing their minds about everything. But hey, Anthony, that was the things that I wrote some things down. And I was wanting to get off the thing, but you have a good night. Maybe I opened a can of worms and people can talk about it.
No doubt, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, peace.
Peace. All right, shout out to the caller. Let's get to the next call here. Number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 770, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, man. What's going on tonight, ABL?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Hey, man. Hey, I got a surprise for you. I got Miss Lisa on the phone. How about that?
All righty.
I know I'm on time delay, but here she is. Good deal, buddy.
Hey, ABL, how are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
Good. I was just concerned about this mail-in ballot, the voting, and if they're going to try in our House to make it part of the bill to extend unemployment. Didn't they have some kind of big meeting today with Schumer?
Well, I don't know what's going on with Schumer in the meeting, but you do have concern. You do have concern for the mail-in ballots because they're trying to frame it like it's the same as absentee ballots, so it's not the same thing. And the absentee ballot, you got to fill it out and request it. But with the universal mail-in ballots, they can just mail it to everybody, and they don't know who's on the voter rolls, if they dead, they're alive, they moved, or whatever. So that's going to open the door to easy voter fraud. So that's definitely a concern that I have. Hopefully, they don't go down that road because that's going to be very dangerous.
Amen, ABL. We've had mail-in voting for many, 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 many years.
Mail-in voting?
No, absentee. I'm sorry.
Absentee.
I'm sorry.
And another thing is, how many times have we accidentally gotten our neighbor's mail, like a magazine or what have you? I mean, and then you mail some bill to the post office to send to whoever you're paying, and it never arrives. So I don't have a lot of faith in the post office. I'm not trying to undermine them. A lot of people are great at their job, but things happen. We lose things.
That's right. And they're dealing with a financial thing at the post office. They're trying to close down some post offices because of, they're kind of going broke. They don't have money to continue operations sometimes. So if they having money problems and you're going to send your vote, which is very important through that, and you're also going to receive it from them, that's going to be an issue.
And what is the repercussions if they force this mail-in ballot and we don't know who our president is? How is that going to determine who's in charge?
That's a good question. I can't really call it.
Yeah. So, and one other thing, too, that I want to discuss, too.
About the meetings today.
Oh, David had a question about the meetings you watched something on the news about...
Yeah, Schumer, Pelosi, and the meetings they had today.
Yeah, I didn't see that meeting. I think I heard about it. I think it was Schumer, Pelosi, Mark Meadows, and the finance guy. Stephen Mnuchin. Yeah, I didn't see that meeting, but I did hear about it. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I think they were meeting about the stimulus, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do. The Democrats, they don't want to have it go through because they want a bunch of other stuff. They're trying to get a bunch of things in there that are unrelated to the bill.
Right.
Well, and,
about the mail-in voting, I believe.
what hurts is like this payroll tax. That would be so helpful to somebody. Let's say there's only one person working in your home and you get this payroll tax relief for a short period of time. That could really make a big difference in some working homes. And it rewards people that are already working.
Right.
So I wish they would do something for that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we know your time is dear, and hey, I think Tatum's a cool guy, but I think you may have him beat. I would love, hey, look, man, I'd love to get a copy of the book behind your shoulder there. I mean, I know all about the Second Amendment. I'm cool with it. I'm down with it, really. I am down with it. But that's the coolest thing about you, I see, besides your brains. You're a cool guy, man. Thanks.
Oh, and one thing too that for anyone out there that's listening, is this would be so helpful if whoever we put in office, if these leaders that we put in office would just follow the Constitution, we would not need all this bickering and fighting in Washington, because we've already got established law for this country. All we've got to do is follow it. There's immigration laws, the church deal where you have the right to assembly, the right to protest. We just need to start following our Constitution, quit trying to change things up.
That's right. Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%.
I mean, and you know, if I had control over this situation, we're not supposed to be in Washington full time. We're only supposed to be in Washington. Our forefathers designed it to where you had a regular job, and because you cared about your community, you went and served your community's interests when they'd have sessions, and then you went home. So, you know, that's something we got to think about too, going back to the basics.
Absolutely.
We got you back, brother.
I know. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the callers. A great call. And thank y'all for being here yet again. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. You guys are the best audience on the entire internet. Thanks for the super chats and the PayPals and the Patreons. You guys are fantastic. And also thanks to all the members of the channel. You can join, I think, hold on. I think I was able to find, because some of you guys were asking me yesterday how to join the channel. I think I'm going to put a link in the description to have that be there, just so it could be there. All right. All right. What's going on? Is AJ? Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, man. Long time. Sorry. Let me turn off my... Long time no see, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. How was everything?
Good. Just had a baby a few months back. So, following the whole Larry Elder, make sure to get married before having kids formula for black families.
That's right, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. But I wanted to talk to you about one thing first, and then we'll kind of go from there. Have you heard about Kamala Harris being the presumptive front runner for Joe Biden as far as running mate?
I have heard that, yes.
I don't know about you, but I have the theory that as conservatives, that might be like the best thing for us for the election. What are your thoughts on her as a running mate?
I mean, she'd be pretty easy to attack because of her track record as a prosecutor. You know, right now you got this whole defund the police thing happening, and she was a top cop in California and was threatening to lock black folks up because their kids were truant. Not even like they did anything wrong, because their kids were truant. Now, she can say, oh, we didn't really do it, but you threatened people to do it. And then some guys actually did get locked up. I think one guy has been vocal about getting locked up and he was innocent, and black guy too. So she has that on her back. And then on top of that, you're going to have people that say she's not really black, which she's not, because when she got introduced, when she was introduced in the Senate by Joe Biden in 2017, she was Indian American, which makes sense. I mean, she had a whole family on stage looking like Bollywood. I'm like, okay, this makes sense because she's Indian American, family's on stage, they got on all the Indian garb. Okay, fine. but now she's black. So you got identity issues. You got a track record that's kind of spotty. That'd be really easy to attack her for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that she would be I think that's a situation where the woke lefties might cannibalize their prospects in the election. Like, honest to God, like with all the stuff that was going on, I was very gung-ho that Trump was a lock to win, and things were getting worse because of the economy and the pandemic. But then they threw out this kind of Hail Mary with Kamala that might totally just save things for us. But the second thing I want to say before I let you go, you had an earlier caller that was talking about Texas possibly flipping. I'm from Texas. Our family is from Texas, and living in Houston right now. And I think that that's totally off base. I don't think that's happening. I mean, people might think that because the mainstream media is pushing forth candidates like Beto and people having a mass exodus from California to Texas. But if you understand the way that the district lines are drawn and the way that Texas politics kind of goes, I think it's extremely unlikely that happens in the next 20 years, much less the next 1 or 2 cycles. So I think that Texas is very safely Republican for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think so. But some people just kind of get a little nervous because I think I saw Ted Cruz the other day talking about the election between him and Beto and how it was closer than it should have been. And yesterday I was at this event. It was a political event. And I was talking to a guy that's in Georgia, North Georgia, like in politics. And he was saying that every year in Georgia is getting more and more liberal because of Atlanta. Now, will it flip? That's kind of far-fetched. But the race between Kemp and Stacey Abrams was too close. It shouldn't have been that close. It wasn't like she had a chance of winning, but it shouldn't have been that close. Is basically what I'm saying. So I think it won't go red anytime soon, but I think there is a concern for demographic change. People coming from other places, California and whatnot, that could be a problem locally. But statewide, I think you're right.
Yeah, and to those and what you're saying is a fair point. I would say that the key difference between Texas and Georgia is not in the senatorial races, but in the the governor races.
Yeah.
And in Georgia, it was extremely close. It was a razor-thin margin. But in Texas, just look at the numbers for the last governor election in Texas, and it's not even close. I think he won something like 2/3 majority, Governor Abbott, over his competitor. I think some Hispanic lady. So, and the governor kind of runs like a king. So as long as the governor is that solidly Republican, it's very, very unlikely that the entire political landscape for the state will change just because the top is so solidly red.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah. All right, man. That's my 2 cents. Keep fighting a good fight, and we'll be listening to you, man.
All right, thank you for the call, man.
Are you traveling anywhere soon?
You said what now?
Are you traveling anywhere soon?
I don't know because, everything is so close. Like, I went to a dinner last night, and that was the first dinner I've been to in a long time. Before that, I think the last dinner I went to like that might have been in March, maybe. So it's been a while. So Hopefully they open things back up so we can travel. But I'm ready to get back out there and start traveling again like I had been.
Yeah, well, shoot me a message or a DM if you're taking any trips anywhere because we're chomping at the bit. We're ready to take a trip somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely do that, man.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, peace. All right, shout out to AJ for the call. I thank y'all for being here. You guys are fantastic. Let me get to the next one. All right, Jordan, what's happening?
Nothing much, ABL. You good?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
That's good. I'm telling you, man, this pandemic is like an IQ test, and most people are scoring very low on it. I can't bear watching, because my mom was watching MSNBC, and I heard Al Sharpton talking about, Jim Jordan didn't prove that that the protest caused spread of the virus, and we're sitting here like, that's not what this is about. If you're gonna have people protesting over the George Floyd's murder, or death, whatever, something, if you're going to have them, some of them not wearing masks or wearing them improperly, and some of them, obviously, they're not social distancing, can't we hold them to the same standards as everyone else? You know, if we really focus on stopping the spread of this, that's the point. And it seems like people just want to pretend like that's not said. And if Dr. Fauci is going to say things like, this virus likely won't go away, what was the point of all of this? You know?
Exactly. It's no point. You're just trying to delay the inevitable. And in the meantime, you've killed the economy, the global economy. So what was the purpose?
Yeah, I know. It's all just awful, man. It really is. Oh, you know, there was another investigation in the Michael Brown death, and Darren Wilson's been exonerated again. No surprise.
I saw that, but I'm like, okay, that was 6 years ago. You realize that? That was 2014 when that happened. This is 6 years later. Why are we still talking about this?
I know.
It should have been over right when it happened. You had
the DOJ under Obama, Eric Holder, all saying that what was initially thought was a lie. You had an 86-page document that nobody's going to read that shows why it's not true. And after that, County Prosecutor Wesley Bell was elected on the promise that he was going to get justice for Michael Brown's death, only for 5 months later to find the exact same thing that everyone else finds. And even then, he was being heckled by protesters. People are still in denial about it, pretty much.
Right, they're still in denial, but you know what? They got to get over it at a certain point, because it's like, you know, it was so much evidence that happened right then and there that this was not this whole hands up, don't shoot thing. People still just want to deny that. They want to go out there and screech it blindly and idiotically. Eric Holder, like you said, Eric Holder went down there, proved that the whole hands up, don't shoot thing didn't happen, but they still don't want to believe it. So it's like, at a certain point, we just got to get beyond that and think about things in a logical way rather than just, you know, screeching about things that aren't true.
Yeah, so if you want more info, check out Matt Christensen's video. Great YouTube channel, did a great video on the subject.
Oh, yeah.
And lastly, about the Joe Rogan thing, and when it comes to Texas, with the thing he said about video games, he should not have that mindset coming to Texas, because you could basically make the argument, saying video games is a waste of time, you can make the argument towards any recreational thing, like jiu-jitsu or watching Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, you know, anything that you do recreationally can be a waste of time. Now, there's a difference. There's a key difference between, you know, having recreational activity just for fun when you have time, and then doing a thing that is taking up your time that you don't have the time for. Like, if you letting it get in the way of your regular life, that's a problem. But that same thing can be said about anything that you do. If you just want to drink all the time, or, you know, be like Joe Rogan and smoke weed all the time, that can get in the way of your regular life. As long as you're able to balance your activities in your life and get everything done, then you're good. That should have been what he said, rather than the way he said it. It made it seem like he was just hating on video games.
Yeah, like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan need to stay in California with that. That's nonsensical. But yeah, I'll bail out here. I just wanted to be here right quick, and I'll talk to you later, ABL.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, peace.
Peace. All right, shout out to my man Jordan for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. Yeah, so about Joe Rogan was saying that video games are a waste of time. And I think the context was that he was trying to say, like, if you're addicted and that's all you do and you don't do anything else, like if you're sitting in your couch for like 25 hours a day and you game, you're wasting time. But the same thing we said about anything. You just got to make sure that you're spending your time wisely, regardless of what you're doing. You can have time for recreation, whatever that may be, whether you're gaming, hunting, fishing, playing basketball, football, whatever you enjoy doing, as long as you have time to take care of your responsibilities, that's the main thing that actually matters. Let me get to the next call. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 719, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yeah, 719, who am I speaking to?
Ricky Ray from Kansas.
All righty, man. I got a little bit of feedback in the background. Turn the speakers down for me.
Yeah, I muted it. I just had a question over the Boston bomber. His death sentence has been vindicated, but yet we executed a white supremacist over murder, but we got a guy that killed several and bombed many but yet his death sentence has been vindicated or repealed. And I'd like to know your opinion on that.
Yeah, I saw that. Now, I don't know exactly what the reasoning was behind doing it, because it's crazy to overturn that. You're talking about a terrorist attack that happened right in the middle of a marathon, so I don't understand how that could have happened. I'd like to know their explanation. I mean, did they come out and say why they overturned it? Was it some kind of technicality? Like, what was going on?
From what I read, they said the jury was tainted, but that could be on any jury. Like, say that guy that, since we resumed federal executions, what about the guy saying there's people that just because he's white supremacist, they're just doing it because of the whole culture that's going on right now, but yet we got a guy who bombed several people and killed several people, but yet he's saying the jury's tainted. But in America, where are you going to go to have a jury held, or even worldwide, that people that saw this guy do it and not be tainted?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. That's a good question, because this was a terror attack that, like I said, the whole world saw it. This is not just some kind of isolated incident. So yeah, you're not really going to be able to find anybody that is not tainted. So that's a very good point she made, and I don't know how you're really going to avoid that.
All right, that's the only question I had, sir. Appreciate you taking my call. Thank you.
Thank you for the call,
channel. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was. I did see the whole thing about the Boston bomber. I was just kind of like, the question I had right away was like, why did they do that? But I didn't see any follow up. I'm gonna look into that and see what's happening with it. So I might even do a video on that, actually, because that was pretty crazy. All right, let me get to the next call. 708, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes, hello. Who am I speaking to?
Erica.
All right, Erica. I got a little bit of feedback in the background. Turn your speakers down for me.
Do you hear it now?
Okay, I think you're good to go. Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, what's going on? Okay, the call dropped. I don't know what happened. I didn't do it. I didn't hang up on you. That was just the call drop. 980, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, yes, this is Mike. How are you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Good, doing pretty well. Say, I wanted to call because, there's one story that people haven't been talking about a lot for some reason, and I think it's probably one of the potentially one of the biggest stories, and that is the recent supposed evidence of alien spacecraft.
Okay.
They've actually found evidence. There have been some, of course, the sightings. First account, the sightings from the Navy pilots, but also astrophysicists who claim that the U.S. are in possession of at least pieces or perhaps an actual alien spacecraft. This has been major news. Tucker Carlson just covered it. It's been a big thing. But you haven't heard a lot about it. I don't know. Have you talked about it much?
No, not really, because they said that they are they've identified UFOs, but that's pretty much all I've heard. I've not seen anything else about it.
Oh, okay, yeah. As recently as last week on Tucker Carlson's show, he had this guy on, and they were talking about this guy directly said that they are in possession of either pieces of a spacecraft or a spacecraft. And this guy is in the government. He's an astrophysicist. And it struck me as being big news, and some other people were talking about it, but it has not really, been like mainstream news. So I found that really interesting because, he's directly saying this. Now, there have been no other government spokespeople have come on saying, oh, no, this is just bunk. It didn't happen. Nobody is denying it. And this guy directly said, yes, we have, parts of a craft or an actual spacecraft. He directly said this. He's an astrophysicist. And I was like, okay. And this was on Tucker Carlson. It's not to say that everything on Tucker Carlson is true. That's an absolute fact. But he has been covering this, the possibility and the sightings, of course, by the Navy personnel, the video footage, which I think you may have seen, possibly. It's been circulating around various videos taken by Navy personnel as they've been tracking spacecraft. So, and this revelation last week seemed like just a huge thing. So I'm just calling, if you haven't heard about it, you may want to check into it because potentially it's a huge story. Granted, we haven't seen any of this evidence, and who knows if they're going to produce it. I mean, the cat's out of the bag. Something is going on, and this guy said directly, this is not Earth-made material. That's what he said. He said they've captured, they've got some parts of a craft or a spacecraft, and it is not from this Earth. That's what he said.
Wow.
So there you go. That's pretty bizarre, I would say. So it's something worth looking into. I think it could be a huge story. And it certainly will be. I think I can guarantee within the next year it's going to be a gigantic story because they're going to have to say more about it and produce some kind of evidence to back all this stuff up. And I'm sure that Carlson is probably going to continue to track the story as it progresses, but it's potentially one of the biggest stories. Well, I don't know. It could be one of the biggest stories ever.
Yeah.
If something if it pans out. So I just wanted to to call and let you know. That's kind of what's going on. You can see video. They've got clips on Fox News of Tucker Carlson and interviewing these people. So it's legit. They're talking about it. They're serious. They're government people. They're Navy people. They're not, BSing. So there you go.
Hey man, thank you for your call. I'm gonna check into that because that's very interesting. They got a craft. I want to see it. So thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Bye.
All right now. Yeah. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, I definitely want to see that craft for sure. And no doubt about it. If they have it, let's bring it out. All right, Shreves, what's happening?
ABL, what's good, brother?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Good. I only had 2 questions for you tonight because all the callers were great, and the chat's great as well. Make me laugh. It has to do with Big China Tech, and Tick-Tock, and wee phones or highway phones. First question: do you still have the highway phone? Because remember, I had that 7X, and it was good technology. It's like cheap hardware, but that's how they get you.
Yeah, you know what? I still have it, but I'm about to get something else tomorrow. And I have a few phones actually, but my daily driver is one of those. But I also have an iPhone just because I need it to do stuff like with Instagram and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'll probably get the S20, the Samsung S20.
Yep, that's a good phone. Yeah,
I'll get that just for my daily driver at this point because I can't really trust the Chinese stuff. But like you said, that's how they get you. It's good stuff like Tick-Tock. I mean, from people that I know that use it, like the little kids and whatnot, like nieces and nephews, they love it. It's really fun. It's easy to use. People that I know that are on it, that do politicals, they really enjoy it. They get a lot of followers. But that's how they reel you in. They reel you in with this stuff. It's cheap, it's free. But now they're taking all your data, sending it to Beijing. Who knows what they're doing with it in Beijing?
Exactly. Craziness. And so I'm going to do the same thing because you had me thinking, like, I was watching the video earlier today, and I was like, oh, crap, I got the highway, the hooey-wooey. So I got to dump this, and now I'm going to go pick up the Asus ROG phone. Next question. This is the last one. Did you hear about Tencent Games? They're a Chinese tech company, conglomerate, and they've been buying up, like, some of the biggest, or shares of some of the biggest games that we play. Because I know you're a PC gamer. I'm a PC gamer. I build PCs. I'm a geek. I love that stuff. So actually, X-Ray was telling me in Discord, in ABL Discord, about it, and I looked it up, and he's not lying. Like, this company, Tencent, and admittedly, I play the games. Like, I play, like, some of the games they make, but I'm not sure if you heard of it or not. But basically, they bought, like, Epic Games, like 40% shares or something like that. like 80% of some of the other companies, Riot Games, like League of Legends, all sorts of other crazy stuff. Did you hear about that?
Well, yeah, I've been on about that for a while because don't they own like most of Fortnite?
Yep. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Ubisoft even, they even have like parts of Ubisoft, Activision, just craziness. And I was looking into it. They really do own like a lot of shares of different companies. It's almost like now they're going to be infiltrating that sector. What do you think about it?
I mean, I'm not surprised because that's what China wants to do. They want to get everywhere they can. They're trying to take over, and that's why you got to, and I think you might see more bans. Tencent they might come for Tencent next because they're kind of like a little bit too much into America, and they're buying up American stuff too, not just gaming but also food. They own Smithfield Foods in Virginia, so they're owning food and gaming and technology, everything. So it's a way for them to encroach upon the entire world and take over through the technology and through money.
It's like a Hydra, right? Because they're in Hollywood too. Obviously, everybody knows about what's going on in Hollywood, and that's why you're seeing all these Chinese movies on Netflix, and which, by the way, is partly owned by Obama, right? He's on the board or something.
Yeah.
I digress. That's it. And that's it. Yeah, I wanted to make sure you knew about that. Like, I hadn't heard about it, and X-Ray was telling me about it. And it just kind of hit me. I'm like, damn, I play these games.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Unreal Engine, obviously, Epic Games. I mean, a lot of games run on Unreal Engine, so they're dealing out the tech and everything. They got their hands in everything. But that's it. I just want to say hi. Shout out to the chat and everybody in Discord and all the callers. You guys are great. I love you all. And have a good night, ABL.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, no doubt, sir. Peace out.
Peace. Yes, it is owned by China. Joseph Stallings. Smithfield Foods is owned by China because, I'm from Virginia. I was there when they did that, when they took it over. Yeah, I got friends that work there and everything. They took it over. They own it. Yes, they do. And so your pork and whatnot, your sausages, and that's China. Absolutely. Chinese bacon, that's right. 60 cycle home, 1000%. All right. Oh, and my phone, I have the iPhone SE. It's like a small phone. I have big hands. I'm a big dude. So I have the SE. It's like the 2020 version. It's like the cheapest phone they have. Like this is just for Instagram and that type of stuff. I use it to put stuff on there just to do my social media stuff. Like I don't even really want the big iPhone, the regular size iPhones, like 1,000. I don't want that. I'm trying to get the cheapest one possible, and that's why people get the Huawei stuff because it's cheap. You can get like top of the line flagship for like $300, $400. Rather than having to pay payments on a Samsung or something like that, $1,000. I'm trying to get discounts. I'm not trying to pay $1 trillion for a phone. I just don't want to do it. Okay, let's get to the next call here. Thank you for joining. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate you. I try to be informative to give you all the information so you're able to go out there and be armed with knowledge. Hopefully armed in more ways than one. Alrighty. Oh, what else I got? Oh, shout out to y'all. If you've not liked the video yet, go ahead and do that. Also, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that as well. If you want one of the flags that are on the wall, they're available through the link in the description box. I'll put that right here in the chat box as well so you're able to see it for yourself. It's also on my website. Let's put a link for the flags right here in the box. In the chat section, the chat box. So you see it right there. It's the BHE Designs link. Click that link. Use that link to get one of these flags if you want to. Check them out. Shop. Do what you want to do. And yeah, everything's on my website that you need to go to. So let's get back to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. I'm 6'3". 586 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hi. My name is Larry out of North Carolina. I just want to say I appreciate your show, and I watch it all the time, so thank you, sir. I'm 66 years old, so I've been watching a lot of this go around. And my opinion on the hockey, I'm sorry, I had a stroke, and I can't always pronounce all the words, but what President Trump has been trying to push to help with the COVID. Anyway, I think the left is really trying to demonize that, because if it was known from the start that it was help take care of the COVID-19, then people would not be as worried about personal voting. Going to your, going and vote in person, and with it being the way it is, they want to keep it like where people say, oh, well, we should be staying home to vote, and I think that's one of the reasons. I'm sorry I'm out of breath, but
no,
I apologize. But anyway,
it's all right. But no, I mean, see, the thing is, they want to push this vote by mail universal because they want to be able to have another way to cheat the election in case it comes down to it.
Yes, and if you don't mind, the cheating, it happened on I'm almost positive when Obama was trying to be reelected, and it happened when Clinton was trying to be reelected. Both of those times, they have always lost the military vote from overseas. Oh, for some reason it got lost, and that happened on both elections. And again, I've been around a long time, so, and you were right. Look at Alan West. He lost in his Florida district several years ago because there was 115% voter, people who voted, and you can only have 100%, but there's 115%. So voter fraud has been around for a long time. But I think that's one of the reasons why they want to keep that treatment. They want to demonize it, so that way people would want to stay home and vote. Vote by universal ballots or whatever you call it. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. So.
Oh, it's all right.
Anyway, and I thank you. Believe me, there's so much I would like to talk about, but I know there's a lot of people. One thing I just want to mention, when Antifa and Black Lives were occupying some of Seattle, in my opinion, I kept thinking, they're occupying it. They should have paid property taxes on it. But I know there's no way we could probably charge them for it. But I thought, boy, if we could charge them for that, that would break up the agreement. Hi, you owe us, $635,000 for property tax for all the time you occupied that space or something. But anyway, I want to thank you, and I really appreciate. I watched when the three young men and you got a guest. I think it's on Wednesday night or Thursday night or something.
Oh, on Thursday.
When you,
that's right.
That's so interesting, and I really love to see that. So I want to thank you guys, and I just want to say God bless you, and Jesus loves everybody out in the audience. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye now.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And thank you all for joining. You guys are the best audience on the internet. Let me get to the next call here. 270, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. It's Natalie from Kentucky.
All righty, what's going on?
Oh, not much. I just wanted to call, and I've been posting it a lot here lately, but, this whole thing with racist and racism and everything else, they need to realize there's only one race, the human race, and that's it. You know what I mean? We're all the same. We're all humans, and we all need to start getting along.
That's right. Absolutely.
And you know what? Are you military by any chance?
No, I'm not.
Just wondering. I just found you a couple of weeks ago. Well, I'll tell you what. You're doing a service for this country and giving people a platform to speak out on, and I really appreciate that. And I've enjoyed watching your show here lately, and I really appreciate what you do. And they were talking about I just lost my train of thought, but
oh, it's all right.
I really wanted to just say thank you, sir, and where we go one, we go all, and everybody needs to get on the same page. I watched that Morgan Freeman episode. Did you see that?
Which one was that? We were talking about
racism and everything.
Yeah,
and
talking to Don Lemon.
Yeah. the only way to fix it is to quit talking about it. You
That's
know what
right.
I mean? And, you know, move on. I'm not racist. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tired of being called one.
I hear you.
Or anybody being called one. I'm sick of that word. I'm just sick of it.
I'm right there with you, 1,000%.
You know? And, but I appreciate it, and you just keep doing what you're doing, man.
I will do. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And thank y'all for being here. You guys are fantastic. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. All right. Let me get to where I was at. 561, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, this is Jay from South Florida. Long time no hear from.
Yeah, a long time, man. What's happening?
Not much, man. You know, just working in the COVID patients, and you know, I'm surviving. You know, doing my job. Have to do with COVID testing every 2 weeks. That's the most annoying thing about my job. But other than that, I'm doing good.
Are you doing the nasal swab thing?
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing mouth swab, but I'm still waiting for them to change over. But we're still doing the nasal one, which is very uncomfortable. I don't know if you ever done that before.
I've not done it, but I heard that it's uncomfortable. I've seen it, and I know that can't be comfortable the way they're doing it.
Yeah, it's very, very, very. You know, me, especially as men, we have hair in our nose, so it's more sensitive. So it's kind of tickling me, my eye watering and everything. So.
Right.
Anyways, you know, we have a hurricane coming, but it's not gonna really hit me too much. But I'm gonna get the rain and the wind, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be like it'll be a Cat 1, right?
Yeah, Cat 1. Cat 1 still could be, if it hit us a good angle. Yeah, Cat 1 could do some damage, but it's only Cat 1, so.
Yeah, it probably get some flooding maybe at the most, because you know from Virginia, you get the same thing going on in Virginia with hurricanes. You know, if they don't go to Florida, they might hit us first, and we got hit by Cat 1, Cat 2s. It depends on where you at. Like you were saying, it could do damage. It can be flooding. So hopefully everything works out well.
Yeah. I haven't called you guys in a while. I see you guys' numbers have really exploded. You and Brandon, especially Brandon, he's really taking off to 1 million subscribers. He's gonna be like 2 million maybe before election. So
yeah, he's skyrocketing. But we all kind of skyrocketed because it was so many things that happened. It was so many big news stories, and then people at home they're watching YouTube more. So it just took off, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Luke is going down. He should go down because he was. I don't know what happened to him, but Herman Cain, ABL, man. I don't really cry very much, but there's only a few people it kind of touched me the most, and he's one of them. Him and Ben Carson. These one of the few black old school guys that they exemplify like a man of God. And to watch a Herman Cain trailer where, how the Uncle Tom part snippet I saw about him saying that because him and the white guy were working hard, he was saying something about why did the white guy get more than him? And then he went to some boss and he told him because the white guy had a master's degree and he didn't complain or whatever. He said, okay, let me get a master's degree too. And then he got moments later, he got a promotion with he got a promotion and he was in charge of like 8 white guys or whatever. And these, that really touched me because, he didn't complain. He just like Ben Carson. They don't have no time to think about racism and all that stuff. They didn't have no time to think about it. They just work hard, never complain. And, that really touched me. And, and then when he died, that really affected me a lot because, man, these are one of these type of men when they die, man, it's like, it touched me more. Like John Lewis, I had no feeling for no John Lewis because John Lewis was an angry man. I have nothing against him, man, but he was so angry. Like, I don't know how people feel sorry for John Lewis, but this Herman Cain, who was a man of God, it's so sickening what Anna Navarro and the rest of them were saying about him. It was so terrible.
Yeah, it really was, man. And, I actually kind of met Herman Cain briefly one time when I was in Atlanta for Black Voices for Trump. It was to see him right there. He was mingling with everybody. Everybody was there. It was so many of us right there in one place. It was like a surreal thing to see. And then you see him pass away shortly thereafter, man. It's it tell you how precious life is, man. But I'm glad that he was here for as long as he was to give us himself, to give himself to the world. I'm glad that he was here for that amount of time.
Right. And, these black conservatives, they're very highly accomplished. A lot of people don't talk about them because because the media don't like them. But Herman Cain being a mathematician and businessman, he's a mathematic. These things is very impressive. And to see him go, man, and seeing that trailer, maybe it was touching, man. And people were saying that, okay, hopefully, people saying negative thing, hopefully Ben Carson will go because he'd be another, stupid, I was reading all the negative comments. I shouldn't read that, man. It was terrible what they were saying about Herman Cain.
Yeah, don't read it, man, because these people are crazy. They don't even really, people that are making those comments don't even know who Herman Cain was, really. They just look at him as somebody that was a conservative, so they want to attack him. They don't even really know anything about him. That's the reality.
Right. And these two quick points. The African lady, man, I was telling everybody, this African lady, she's very, very religious, believe in God. I was sending it to all my friends. They keep saying, she's crazy. She's crazy. And I said, she's crazy, but you believe the white man, Dr. Fauci. But when there's a black person who's talking like this, you don't want to believe it. These co-workers of mine supposed to be pro-black. And I said, this is your own people. Why would you tell her she's crazy, but you listen to the white man? It's kind of strange.
Exactly.
But the last thing I'm gonna say, the WNBA, the sports kneeling, especially WNBA kneeling. The ratings so low for them. I don't think they should be doing anything else to alienate their fans because they're not making no money. Where I've seen NBA players donating money to them to help pay for their salary because some of them may sell the season. They don't make no money anyway. They shouldn't be doing anything. They should try to get people to come to a game, not to push people away. And all these athletes, hopefully they start losing some money and they realize what they're doing is wrong. It's not wrong. It's like you're dividing the country with this behavior. And it's like they're supporting the Marxist organization. And the two players who stand, hopefully they don't get beat up or punished too much.
Right. Hopefully not. Hopefully, one thing about the guy that stood in Orlando Magic, he said that he had a meeting with his teammates before he did that, and everybody respected what he did. So if they felt that way before he did what he did, then they can't change up afterwards, or they shouldn't change up afterwards. So I think people generally get it, and a lot of guys really probably don't even want to do the kneeling, but they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to get media attention. They pretty much just go along and get along, and it's really a shame. So I'm glad that my man from the Magic, said something and stood up for what he believed in.
Right. All right, ABL, man. Nice talking to you, man. I haven't called you in months, but yeah, man. I'll probably see you. I'll talk to you another time. All right.
All right, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
All right, peace. All right, shout out to my man Jay from South Florida for the call, and thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience on the internets. The number to call 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call. 631, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL?
What's going on?
I can't believe I got through tonight. Yo, the chat is popping. I want to say something to you. Congratulations on your engagement. Whoever she is, she's a very lucky woman because you are very sought after. Okay? You're a very, very good man. But let me say this about this BLM movement. I saw a video where in Portland, which is 90% white, okay, and mostly an upper class neighborhood, these spoiled brat little white kids out there rioting, and actually the white girl that was leading the crowd of about 1,000 people, half of them didn't have on any masks. Okay, they weren't practicing social distancing, okay, and she actually got up and called one white person that was trying to check her and asked, why are you out here advocating for black people, and black people don't even want y'all to advocate for them, okay, and could care less. And she actually called him a nigger. Okay? Now, this video was all over the internet, but I did not see it one time on liberal media. Where little white spoiled fascists, okay, are calling the very people that they say that they are standing up for niggers, okay, and using that word nigger while black people were in the crowd. And nobody said anything. Nobody threw a cocktail at her. Nobody tried to beat her up. Nobody called her racist. And the media didn't even cover it. This was maybe like 2 days ago in Portland, before Donald Trump sent the military or the troops or whoever he sent in there to break up the violence. Another thing, okay, if Black Lives Matter, how come the cops, the same police that are allowing in New York City where I live, okay, Mayor Communist de Blasio and his wife, okay, to put out mandates that people can go in front of private property and public property, okay, if they're BLM or Antifa, and write on the ground on our sidewalks, BLM, right, in big yellow paint. But these kids, I think it was in, was it Chicago? These white kids were outside from a church, mostly white, were outside from a church, and they were writing in chalk in front of an abortion clinic, unborn Black Lives Matter. Don't you know they call the cops, the people they said defund the police, call the cops on these demonstrators that were actually peaceful demonstrators, weren't rioting, weren't throwing any cocktails at the police, wasn't throwing bottles full of piss and shit at the police and saying F the police in their face and disrespecting them. They were peacefully protesting for actual black innocent life. Don't you know there was about 20 police surrounding them and actually arrested some of the kids that were out there protesting, but they are allowed to write BLM in front of private buildings and public buildings, and that's okay, and it's sanctioned by the mayor and governor? What the hell is going on in America?
It's crazy.
I mean, why would you, as a cop, I'm sorry, I am pro-police. I love our NYPD, but let me tell you something. They are acting like a bunch of punks with these protests. They won't come out if somebody is being robbed in the street and you call 911 here. They'll tell you they can't come out, or they'll switch you over to another operator. And then, if they do come out, it's like an hour or two. After the crime has been done, you're all beaten up and bloody, okay? And then if they do catch the person or the criminal that attacked you, and it was a violent crime, they let them out the same day, and they don't give them any bail. But if I stand in front of an abortion clinic and I'm protesting peacefully, I'm arrested and I'm harassed by those same police that I'm for. And they're acting all big and bad when they come up to you and stuff and surrounding you and blocking you off. Nobody's trying to stop anybody from going into the abortion clinic. We're out there protesting peacefully for black lives, because that's where most of Planned murderhood is put, in our brown and black neighborhoods. While you have white liberals standing out in the front volunteering so that the black women and the Hispanic women can go in there and kill their babies. But the cops can come out for that immediately when they call. I'm perplexed about it. I really am. And then you have dumbass AOC.
Hold on, you can't cuss though.
I'm sorry. You have dumb behind the AOC. I mean, I think this woman is mindless. Okay? I don't know what type of person would ever vote for her. She's going to say when they asked her, well, when you defund the police, how would neighborhoods look? She actually said, if you defund the police, that the neighborhood would look like a suburb. Because she grew up in a almost all-white, very affluent neighborhood where they could afford private security. So there were no need for the police department there. So I don't know how you live in New York and know the 5 boroughs of New York and know that the black community and the Hispanic community neighborhoods are crime-ridden now because of defunding of the police. I want her to come and bring her mindless behind to my neighborhood that under Giuliani was thriving and under the Trump administration was thriving before COVID. Okay? And how Giuliani and even Bloomberg cleaned up the streets. And literally there was hardly no crime in my neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York. Okay? Soon as the Democrats step back in, look at New York now. Look at the crime. 100% increase in crime in New York City. And this twit is going to have the nerve to say, if you defund the police, the neighborhoods would be suburbs. Tell her to come here and live right now. While de Blasio has taken $1 billion $1 million from our police department and has virtually dismantled our plain cops that came out here, our detectives undercover, that did the dangerous jobs of taking down whole drug rings and murderous gangs in New York City and in my city. Tell ALC to come here and see if we look like a suburb. That's all I got to say.
All right.
I love you, ABL.
Thank you for the call.
What you doing, baby. Keep doing what you. Hey, you need to run. You need to run for mayor. You need to run for governor. Something. Okay.
All right.
The House of Rep. Run for something.
I got you. Thank you for your call. Appreciate you.
All right. Love you, boo boo.
All right, now.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Hey, she's saying everything she said was right on point. These people don't understand that live like out there in the suburb areas and never really had any experience in the city and in the hood. They don't understand the way it goes. You got to have more police, not less police. Anybody that is from these areas, if they're being honest, say you need to have more police being proactive, because you got what you have in the hood is two different kind of people generally. You got your regular civilians, your regular normies out there in the hood. It just happen to be poor. They might work, they might not work, but they're not involved in criminal activity. They're just regular people, right? Then you have the criminal element, which is in much higher concentration in low-income areas. You got the dope boys, the murderers, the robbers, the thieves, the perverts. You got all of them that exist in the higher level in the hood. These are the people that make the hood dangerous. So in order to prevent one side of the neighborhood from terrorizing the other side, you got to have a strong police presence that's proactive, that's smart, that has necessary resources to be able to deal with crime. You got to do broken windows policing, being able to see kind of what's going on, checking out what's happening in the street, nip crime in the bud. You got to do that. And if you don't have it, what you're going to have is what's happening right now all over the U.S. in these liberally run cities that don't have control. Control had to have been there from the beginning so things don't spiral out of control. You see, like where I live, it's a small area. Police got everything pretty much under control. They don't just let stuff spiral out. So we've not had any riots at all. You know, we don't have it here. In the bigger areas, you got to have control over the place. And if you don't have control, if you don't nip things in the bud, that's how things kind of just get out of control and everything is just pretty much out there. Okay, and then people that live in the area got to suffer as a result. You can't have that. So let me get to the next call. Control. All right, caller. Hey, you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Can you? Oh, we can't see you, but you see us.
Yeah, you can't see me because I have the camera on my stream, and there is a delay with the stream, but I can talk to you guys just fine.
Oh, okay. Are we on the channel? Because we had to turn it off.
Oh, you're on the screen, so everything's good.
Oh, okay. Well, Well, I'm sure you probably can tell from our background we're interracial patriots.
All right. Thank y'all for coming on the show. I know.
So lucky to get in.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for coming in. So what's going on with you guys? How's everything?
Everything is good. We are here in Vegas. We want to, again, like I said, say thank you so much for the shout outs. We get so many people coming over to the channel saying they came over because you shouted us out and our channel out. So we appreciate that so much. Right. But the question I wanted to ask you, ABL, is I don't remember from your previous videos if you ever had to struggle with telling your family that you were a Trump supporter. And if so, how did that go over? Because I know I get a lot of flack from that from my family that, as soon as they hear it, I can't even say Trump 2020.
Oh, no.
And they are absolutely going insane.
They call you a traitor. They call you.
Yeah.
What is it? We taught you better than that.
Yeah, we taught you better than that. You're supposed to be a Democrat. Yeah. So we wanted to know, what has been your experience with your family as far as when they found out that you were a Trump supporter?
Wow, that's a good question. Okay. Now, when I first kind of revealed it to my parents, it was some kickback for sure. And it was different from my mother and my father. Now, my mother, she was just trying to have a debate with me. And I was like, Mom, I don't want to have a debate. I don't really want to do that. But she's trying to have a debate. And that kind of went on for a while. And then it got to the point where she stopped trying to debate. Because one thing about me and debating, I learned that from her and my father. They both on a debate team in high school. So debates would be like a never-ending battle. It's like playing chess for 45 hours straight. So she was like, you know what? I give up. I'm going to just say, you know what? I don't agree with anything you say. And I'm going to just leave it pretty much there. So we get along perfectly fine. Everything's good. But my dad, on the other hand, he actually kind of he confronted me. He came to my house one day. I'm at the house chilling, just minding my own business, watching TV, sitting on the couch. Knock at my door. Here comes Dad. I don't get a phone call saying, hey, somebody come by. He just popped up. And he, came into my house and was like, hey, what's going on with you on Facebook, man? I see you posting some things. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I don't agree. We almost got into a fight, like a fist fight. We almost fought. Like, I got in his face. I pushed him. He kind of pushed me back a little bit, but he, wound up leaving. He had been drinking a little bit, but that's a different story. So we almost got into a fight over that. And after that, when he saw that I was ready to fight him, seriously, everything was fine. It was like he kind of gained respect for me. I don't know what it was, but we almost got into a fight. But now we're the best of friends. That's like, I could talk to him about anything. We could talk for hours about politics. And really, the funny part is that my parents are from West Virginia. They're very conservative. And by nature, but they're just liberal politically. So we can talk and have agreements on politics, even if they don't call it politics. You see what I'm saying? Right. So we're pretty much at that stage. But when I first talking about, supporting Trump and whatnot, they didn't like it too much. But now it's pretty much all good.
Isn't that funny, though? It's funny. It's like your family is mostly, has these conservative values as far as guns, as far as religion and everything else. And yet they are so anti-Trump. And I'm just wondering, do you think there's a big silent majority out there in the black community where they know they can't say anything in public because they'll just be trounced, but when they get into the voting booth, maybe they might go for some Trump? I mean, what do you think?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely out there because I get emails all day, every day. I get DMs everywhere. Even back during 2016, one guy, black guy, he was talking about, hey, I was invited to come to the inauguration by the administration, but I'm afraid because I don't want my mom to see me there. I don't want this is a grown man now, my age, in his 30s. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my parents to see me because I don't want to do with that. Going to, visit, family reunion, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I don't want to do with that. So it's a lot of us out here that nobody will ever see, nobody will ever know, but they exist.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, we thank you so much for answering the call. We appreciate your time, and we're going to continue to watch the show. Thank you, ABL, for everything.
Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so shout out to them. That was Interracial Patriots right here on the YouTubes. Go to their channel, check them out. Tell them I sent you. All right. But yeah, me and my dad, that's my dog 100%. We almost got into a fight, but it's all good now. But I think, like I was saying, I think he had been drinking, and I think that kind of, he was saying some things that he probably shouldn't have been saying. I ain't even really reveal all the details of that conversation. because it was a heated conversation, really. But I need to write a book because some things I can say, I don't want to say here, but I talked to Dad about writing the book. He was like, yo, put whatever you want to put in there. Talk about me, the drinking, whatever you want to do, put it in there. It's all good. Okay. That's going to be like these stories I got some crazy. I'll talk about the crack house when I was in the dope house when I was a little boy. I'll talk about the fighting. I'll talk about my uncle that had AIDS. I'll talk about all of that in the book. I need to write that soon. Okay, let's get to the next call. Okay. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hi. How are you doing? It's Cigar Box.
All right, Cigar Box, what's happening?
Oh, craziness, man. I can't believe what's gone on just in the last couple of months. But to start off with, you realize, of course, how bad the national debt is down there. And to think that money is being thrown away is unbelievable. Do you realize I just found out that somebody who lives here was an American citizen, like from birth, but now lives here in Canada, okay? Is a Canadian citizen, but like, what do you call it, a dual citizen? Got a check, to help like through the virus thing. They didn't even realize they were going to get this. All of a sudden in the mail, they just get this thing.
Wow.
Like, is there no, like, how are they going to, like, when are they going to stop this? This is crazy. They wonder why there's no money for anybody. And, I mean, like, this person, yes, technically is an American citizen, but lives here full time, has not lived in the United States for over 10 years.
Yeah, you know what? That's because that'd be the same thing that goes on with mail-in voting. It's the same thing because they have no way of really being able to check all this stuff to see who lives here, who doesn't live here, or they don't have any way to really to check that. They're just sending out stuff to people. And with the mail-in voting, I mean, you could be sending it to anybody. And then a lot of times they don't really check to the identification or anything. So you just get a piece of letter in the mail. You open it, fill it out, send it. You could be anybody. The mail could be addressed to George Washington. Your name is Jacob Hammer Schmidt. You fill it out and you say, okay, well, George voted. It's like, no, he didn't vote. Jacob did. But how are you going to be able to know if you don't have the proper way to do it, which is absentee ballots where you fill it out and get it back?
Exactly. Yeah. As far as AOC goes, I can't believe like anything she says anyway, but like she's been making these ignorant comments ever since before, like when she was driving along saying, you see this isn't normal people. They're getting they're being able to say anything that goes on. When they were discussing how it works, like with the way that it's set up, so that you get each state has a proper say, so that California and New York don't run the entire country, basically.
Right.
And now she's coming out with all this garbage about how things are run in the cities, and people don't realize, and she does, how poor people are. Like, give me a break. She doesn't know anything about people being poor. And if you are so hungry that you can't afford a loaf of bread, how is it that you've got the money to go out and get a black market gun to go and shoot somebody?
Yeah, the whole bread thing. That's like an old school like bread. Like who's gonna nobody's just going to the store to get bread to eat. It's like, hey, what are you eating? I'm eating a piece of bread. It's like, what? This is not the Great Depression. This is 2020. You got rice roni, you got minute rice. You can go to the store and get you a whole meal, TV dinner. This is not 1920, 1930. I mean, this is old school. You hearing that from, reading old books from back then. You're not living life. A lot of these people like AOC, they don't have the real world experience. They don't understand what's happening right here on the ground. I know guys in the street right now that sell guns, pills, all that. They have enough money to buy more than a loaf of bread. And they're going out there to rob these stores to get more merchandise to sell on the street to get more money. So that was just a silly, old school, out of touch comment.
Yeah, because when they talk about this, I mean, you're going to tell me that the person who executed David Dorn in the streets, they picked up a big screen TV.
Right.
Is it going to eat that?
No, not at all. He about to sell that, they go get something else, go get some drugs and sell that. I mean, it's like, okay, and then even if you are trying to get a loaf of bread, okay, you get a loaf of bread, you're not going to be, selling anything else or hurting anybody. You don't need your pistol or your rifle to go get a piece of, if you have a gun, surely you can just, I don't know, maybe sell that. You could sell ammunition and get enough money to get something to eat. I mean, that was just, I heard that. I was like, man, come on. What are we even doing?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And I can't believe people are voting for this garbage.
Right.
I don't see how people can't see that they're being set up. They're being set up to hate everybody. So that, like, the thing that I notice is really strange is how China is the worst thing out there with everything that they do, from the human rights abuses to just the sneaky way that they are spying on everything all over the world. And yet, when you insult them or say anything about it, not only do they have a snot off, but people over here do too.
Right.
Like, you look at that idiot prime minister we got. Oh my God, he bends over backwards for them, literally, and he just loves them. It's disgusting. And there, when people are defending this, I'm thinking, what are you, nuts? You get the biggest mouth in the United States there, LeBron, shoots his trap off about them, and then all of a sudden sucks back. I'm pretty sure because his agent said, you just cost me $2 million because that's my cut. So shut up, stupid. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to him. But like, how is it that everybody just keeps defending them? You can't say the China virus and all kinds of crap like that. Don't they see that it's because China wants to take everything? Like, right. I really believe that all this nonsense is all because they stirred it all up. Like the Tick-Tock thing. They've got in, they control all kinds of stuff. They have no idea, people have no idea that, like, all these pop-up ads and things like that are probably coming as a result of everything that they're stealing of the intellectual property. That's just that we know of from TikTok. Who knows what else?
Yeah, exactly. 100%, man.
But anyway, thanks for having me on, because I haven't talked to you for a while, and I'll let you go because you got all kinds of people waiting. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right, now.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Yeah, the whole thing about bread was crazy, because one thing about the hood also, what you have is a lot of obesity in the hood. We don't want to talk about that. I mean, this ain't, like I said, this ain't the 1920s. You got food stamps going on right now. You got food everywhere. Food is like too abundant in America. That's the problem with obesity. People talking about poverty causes obesity. How does it make any sense? How does it make sense to not have enough money and have that cause you to be overweight? You can only get overweight by eating. If you don't eat a lot, you're not going to be overweight. That's just facts. People eat too much and have a sedentary lifestyle that causes obesity. So when you in the hood, people out there 300, 400 pounds or whatever, it comes from eating all the time. You eating Funyuns, hot dogs, hamburgers all day and just doing nothing, sitting on your hind parts eating, no working, no nothing. So what's the point of taking your Glock 19 that you just got from the street or your rifle and going to get a loaf of bread? For what? You can get that for free. Food stamps, WIC, EBT, TANF, food banks, everything else. It's silly. All right, let's get to the next call. And thank y'all for joining. You guys are fantastic. The best audience on the entire internet. 423 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony.
Yes, sir.
How do you do, sir? How do you do, sir? God bless you.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking my call. I love what you do.
Hey, no problem.
Hey, man. I think we're missing some God, that's all.
Yeah?
Yeah. This country was created by a bunch of people who believed in God and tried to live by the Ten Commandments. and we no longer have that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Hey, you know what an 85er is?
You said what now?
Do you know what an 85er is?
No, I don't.
85% of the population is intentionally misinformed.
Ah, okay.
So how do you do, sir? Everything good?
Everything is great, man. Can't complain at all.
All right. Thank you for taking my call.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. I got time for a couple more calls. Let's get to the next one. 808, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Jonathan. Is this Anthony?
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness! Wow. All right. This is my first time trying to call. Long time listener, and thank you for everything that you do, man.
Oh, no problem, man. Thank you for calling.
So I just had a couple things I wanted to talk about with you, and the first one is Tick-Tock. Like when the whole George Floyd thing first started happening, really blowing up all over the country, it seemed like Tick-Tock was every other time you'd flip a page, no matter what you were following, it was just like mass chaos and looting and rioting. And I felt like it was directly targeted at viewers to stir up emotion. I don't know, and I've never heard anybody really discuss that very much, but that was one of the things I noticed, and it really bothered me. You know what I mean? I even deleted it at one point. I was just like, I can't take this anymore. You know what I mean? Just seeing nothing but violence, like horrible violence, real life, you know, eyewitness cell phone video going on right at the moment. You know what I mean? So that was one thing that really bothered me. And then the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was, what are your thoughts on the music industry? The other day on Joe Rogan, he had, what's his name? They were talking about the problem with society. And all I could think about was that, you know, our biggest influence in popular music right now are just a bunch of thugs and drug dealers, and nobody really wants to talk about how much that influences young minds, like on TikTok. You know what I mean? They're both connected. So I just was wondering what your thoughts were on that. It was Ben Shapiro.
Now, on what specifically now?
Oh, when he was interviewing Ben Shapiro, and they were both discussing what the problem with society was.
Okay.
And I couldn't help but think, you know, like the biggest problem that I see is young kids listening to gangster rap. I mean, I'm a musician, and I've been playing since like the early '90s, and I remember when hip hop and stuff came along, and you know, I don't have a problem against the music itself, but the whole style of disrespect that didn't go along with the way I was raised. So when I saw it around me in the mid to late '90s, I just immediately realized, hey, there's something wrong with this. It's taken off. You know, Tupac, all the culture is getting really kind of, you know, violent and talking about, you want to talk about the N-word. That was a really kind of messed up thing to have to grow up during and watching other people throw around the N-word, even though they pronounce it differently. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, it's an issue. And you know what? The bigger issue that I see happening right now, like the bigger issue is lack of the cohesive family, lack of the two-parent household structure, because the music can be damaging to people for a variety of reasons. I think I was talking about this on Brandon Tatum's channel. And before I heard Brandon Tatum say a thing about rap music on the podcast with Charlie Kirk, I didn't really even buy into that. I was like, nah, because you got other influences. But what he was talking about was that rap music, it makes people that do not have any kind of firsthand interaction with a black person, it makes them think that we are like what's in the music or what's on TV. And that even includes, that even includes others that are black but don't live in the U.S. Like if you go to Africa or the Caribbean or somewhere and they never talk to anybody from the U.S., when we get there, they expect 50 Cent, some other rapper, because it's all they see on TV. That's all that's all that they get. They get the music and then what they see on TV. So they don't really understand people like me, how we even are really here, because they've never seen that before. They don't have a good impression of us. But as far as those of us that are in the hood living there, it's easy for us to go out there and just live out what we hear in the music where we're at a young age, because that's our only point of reference to what an adult male is, what we see outside, and there's no male in the house. And the mother can't really do much to guide a young boy in the proper direction. So the music, coupled with not having a nuclear family, and then on top of that, you got academia talking about how much you're a victim and it's not your fault. When you put all that together, a young child can easily be lost and not have any kind of understanding upon which way to go in life.
Absolutely, man. And it seems to me that those are the icons. They're held high as the idols. You know what I mean? You couldn't even name a cop that saved someone's life. You know what I mean? And to me, those used to be heroes. And now today, our icons and heroes, they're just different people, you know? And I'm not saying that people shouldn't have the right to go and make a bunch of money in the music industry, but I'm saying there's something wrong when you look through Tick-Tock and every other thing. Doesn't matter what race or creed, it's just all popular, you know. And I don't want to get into like specific names, but if you're listening to the music, you know the lyrics are messed up, man. I mean, you know, when you got 14-year-olds listening to this kind of stuff, it's messing with your mind. It's garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So anyway, I just wanted to mention that to you and get your feedback on it, because to me, it's not really brought up enough, you know, and it feeds directly into the nuclear family. I think that is the root cause of a lot of this, you know, not growing up with the whole family. You know, family values are just out the window these days. You know, they don't even hardly exist. You know, I'm actually in Hawaii, so you see the contrast between like a family that really puts family first, and then the mainland where it's almost non-existent in the cities. You know, it's just every man for himself. So anyways, I appreciate you so much, and thank you for what you do. Never give up, man.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, see you.
All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. All right, I got time for one last quick call. All right, call you on the line. We'll speak to 817.
Oh, hello, ABL. How are you?
Everything's good. Can't complain. About yourself?
Oh, I'm fine. Are you familiar with greatschools.org?
I've heard of that website, but I'm not really familiar with it.
Well, they rate schools on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, I have been on there. Yeah, I've looked up some of my old schools to see like all the metrics upon which the different kids perform, and it breaks it down by race as well. Yeah, I'm familiar with the website.
Yeah, I've pulled up a few schools here in my state, and I thought we could play a quick game. One is Alito School, and they have a great schools rating of 8 out of 10. And I'm curious if you can guess the percentage of white students in that school.
I don't know.
82%.
Okay.
Then we got another one, Eastern Hills High School. They have a great schools rating of 1. What do you think the percentage of white students is in that one?
Probably lower, but I don't know. You tell me.
6%. And then the last one, Diamond Hill Jarvis, great schools rating of 1 out of 10. How many white students in that one? What percentage?
You got to. I know where you are going, so you got to get to your conclusion because I got a little bit of time left on the show.
Yeah, 3%. So the point is, when you point out facts like this, just taking data, you get called every name in the book. White supremacist this, and white nationalist that, and this, that, and the other. And I don't know. How do we overcome that? How can we talk about real facts and real data without being called names?
Well, it depends on what you want to do, because, like, if you're going to talk about, because if you're going to go down the whole direction of IQ and race, you're going to have a problem because you got to be able to prove it scientifically. If that's where you want to go, you got to be able to prove that. If you can't, then it's going to be, oh, you're just a racist. So there's no point in even talking about race and IQ performance and stuff like that. Just talk about ways to improve education for everybody, regardless of what the color is. If people lag behind, then so what? That's on them. But the best way is just to have the best education possible for everybody that's involved, the best environment for everybody that's involved. If people can't measure up, and if you can see racial lines happen, then so be it. There's nothing that can be done outside of having good education. That's all that really matters. Nothing else matters.
Yeah. Well, we certainly want the best education everyone can get. I'm a big fan of privatizing education, getting it out of government hands. I think schools should have the power to kick bad kids out. I mean, if one kid's going to ruin it for everybody else and vandalize school property and bully other kids, they should be able to kick that kid out. And then there should be, in the private sector, reform schools for kids like that.
Well, you already have that, because if you are misbehaving in school, then you can get expelled. That happens. I've seen kids get expelled from school. And you also have reform school. You still got that going on. And you also have charter school. You got private school. You got homeschool. There's different options.
Yeah. Well, the way we're doing it now, taxing everybody and pouring more and more money into these failing schools, that's not working.
Well, the money's not even the problem. The problem is the lack of good teachers in the school and lack of proper education in the school. The money has nothing to do with it. You know, and a lot of these schools don't even really care. They're in a bad environment. They're going to give you the worst teachers possible. A lot of these teachers don't even want to go to the school because it's dangerous because of their environment. And once you have the ability to go to different schools, pick the best one for you, and have it be performance-based, maybe even private school, charter school, that's a better way to go about it. A lot of these public schools don't even really care. They're just trying to get money. And I've been in one of these schools that was just kind of a bad performance school. And what I was able to see is that the teachers didn't even really care. One guy, he left like in the middle of the school year, went to go sell cars in Detroit. You know, they don't even really care. They're just kind of there to show up and leave. They're not really invested into it. It's not a good environment for education. And then you have kids that are already behind anyway. So it's just like, who cares what happens to the kids? You got to get rid of that type of mentality, and you'd be able to improve schools that way. But if that mentality persists, like, so what, who cares, then nothing will change.
That's a good point. Yeah, but I would also point out that parents play a big role in it too.
Oh yeah, all day long. I said that before, because a big reason why there's a gap in between black and white performance is that you have the white kids that generally get taught something before they go to school, before kindergarten, before they enter into the school system. They can do basic things. They can, spell their own name. They can draw a little bit, count to 10, 100, 1,000, or whatever. And I was lucky to have that. My mother was a stay-at-home mom when my parents were married, and she taught me just some basic stuff that I needed. So when I was in school, I outperformed everybody. It didn't matter black, white, because I had some basic stuff. And a lot of these kids didn't have anything. They go to school 6 years old without any ability to read or count or do anything because they've never been taught before they went to school. So I think that should get pushed more as well.
Yeah, I thought of an interesting experiment we could do. We could take the teachers from one of these schools and trade them out with the teachers in another school.
Well, that ain't really going to do it because that ain't going to, because you got to also think about where the school is. Like a lot of time, the environment of the school is a problem, because if you live if you're in these hood schools, it's a bad environment because of where it's located physically. So you're going to see. You're not necessarily going to see the same results that you would see in a better place. And then if you try to take kids from the bad school and send them to the good school when they get to be 12, 13, it's too late. You need to be, intervening early, like kindergarten, first grade. But hey, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
All right. Same to you. All right. Yeah. I knew where the caller was going. That was like race realism a little bit, but you just got to get better education. And also what he was saying, early education, that's important too. Because like I said, a lot of kids coming from the hood, black, Hispanic, whatever, they don't learn how to read until they get to be 6, 7 years old. You way too late at that point. When you can't even spell your own name when you're 7 years old. It's crazy. All right, let's get to I'm way past my time. I gotta get to the super chats and end the show. Thank y'all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic. The best audience on the internets. Yeah, that's right, James. If the students don't care about the education, then the schools won't perform well. If the parents don't care, the students don't care, nobody's going to care. You can't put a teacher in there at a late point and make it better. But I cared. I was in the program that was a magnet program. I was actually a grade ahead. I was studying the grade ahead and the lower grade. I couldn't skip for some reason. They wouldn't let me skip, but I was in 7th grade learning 8th grade math and 8th grade English and stuff like that. So I was grade ahead. But then when my teacher left and went to Detroit to sell cars, they put us back in the original math, and then they had us do worksheets route. They had like a sub in there giving us worksheets. It's like, this is not education. All right. And that was school choice too, but you got to have a good school, good location, and good teachers to make these things work. To make the magnet program work, where you got the smart kids, you got to have the good teachers in there and make it a good environment too. I can't do another hour, man. I got to go. Super chat time. Thank y'all for joining. I'll be live again. When am I live again? I'm live again Wednesday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm live after that on Brandon Tatum's channel. Same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a guest on there. It'll be myself, Brandon Tatum, Derek Gradenigo. And subscribe. If you're not subscribed to my man, Derek Gradenigo, go ahead and do that. That's DerrickGradenigo, Derek Gradenigo. And then, of course, Brandon Tatum, the Officer Tatum. Subscribe to those channels. We'll be live again on Thursday at 8 p.m. We'll have a special guest on there all the time. Who knows who it is? You don't really know until it happens. I'll probably announce it here. I super chats to read, then I'm going to wrap it on up, put a bow on the top. Shout out to, let me see, where was I at? Shout out to Captain Mammoth Druid for the donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Thank you to Teresa Logue, who says, Mr. Logan, I've lost people who I consider to be family for sharing your videos and videos of other Black Americans with similar views. I'm heartbroken. They think I'm suddenly racist. It's so sad. That's crazy. Why do they think you're racist for sharing my videos? So if they think you're racist, they think I'm racist. If they think that you're somehow a bad person for watching my videos, how do they feel about me? See, they got to look in the mirror and examine themselves. You're not the problem. They are. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Orestes Moja, who says, do you follow Q? Where we go one, we go all. I don't follow Q. I just don't really, I can't really have the time to get into it. But I know a lot of people that do follow Q. They're all good people, all good patriots. Thank you to Video Chump for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Good Bad, who says mask mandates are just to see how much control the government can get away with. This is all a test for communism, and we conform to it. We'll be conformed to it. I'm not. A lot of people just aren't doing it. And you can pretty much see who values freedom and who doesn't. Out here where I am, we're not doing the mask, none of that. We're pretty much beyond that. And I think that if this virus was as bad as what they say, the country would be much worse. We'll be in a much worse place right now than what we are. Thank you to Smash Talk, who says, hello from Fort Worth, Texas. Excuse my ignorance, but why are they still protesting in Portland, Oregon, especially since the feds left? Well, I mean, we know what it is. It's an insurrection. They're trying to overthrow the government. It ain't nothing else to it at this point. Ain't no more protests. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Jericho Green. HK says, don't listen to Jericho Green. I don't listen to political channels because I don't like to have their thoughts in my mind when I'm talking, because I don't want to take anybody's stuff and what they say. I like to have everybody have their thing. But, I'm familiar with them. I try to watch a little bit of their videos to not get the whole thing, have it be in my mind. But I'm a fan of Jericho Green, 100%. Really good dude. He was on a show with us one time with Tatum and Derek. And that was a really good show. I really enjoyed that one. So shout out to my man, Jericho Green, one of the best YouTubers on the entire YouTubes. Thank you to Cyrus Cherry, who says Biden could have a stroke on camera and still people would vote for him simply because they hate Trump. Is the left new strategy just hate? Yes, it is. It ain't nothing else to it. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to New Way Bossa Nova, who says good luck with the cat, and the megaphone. Thank you to John Stritzinger for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Spartan706NT, who says, tired of seeing people blame Trump for the economy like he just made terrible decisions as they continue to not contribute to the economy. Exactly. I'm with you right there. Thank you to Fried Cash for your donation. Thank you to Claire Sushi, who says, every time Ivan calls in, I'm going to donate to ABL. Thanks. Ivan, doing your part. Thank you for that, Killer Sushi. Thank you to Deck Dog 433, Iron Dart 22, who says, "You the man, ABL. Keep bringing them facts on those corny leftists. Peace, my boy. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate you." Thank you to Scott Cartwright, who says, "Do you think Obama was a good president?" No, I don't. You know, I was excited when he got elected because at that time, 2008, I'm like, what, 20? I hadn't turned 20. I think I just turned 24. Oh, yeah, I think I just turned 24. Now I was a young man. I was, excited when he got elected, but then that excitement kind of turned a little bit sour after he, was in there for a while and he just didn't do what he promised he'd do. Thank you to, let me see, Coach Shusu says, mass mail-in ballots, try this ABL, Google, mail found in dumpster, choose images. There you go. Question answer about the mail-in ballots. Yes, I've seen people back when I was in Virginia get locked up for dumping in mail that they're supposed to deliver to people. Just a bunch of mail. I saw one person had a storage unit with mail in it because they couldn't deliver it all. It was crazy. Thank you to Joyce Ratland for the cool emoji donation. Thank you to Zachary Titchin, who says voter fraud is a myth. Just ask Jesse Ventura. Keep it up. Exactly. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to N-Dog, who says great show as always. ABL, keep up the good work. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Vicious Victor T, who says, what about Virginia? I'm not sure what that was in reference to, but thank you for that. Let me see. Thank you to Christopher Brogan, who says masks are hazardous to your health. Rebreathing in your own exhaust. Carbon dioxide will cause unconsciousness. We all need oxygen. There you go. Exactly. Shout out to Steve Cutts, who says Ivan's life matters. Please pray for him. Thank you to Son Goku, who says, how do you respond to the leftist claim the party switched? Also, I know this will be super tough, but please get the Hyatt Twins on the B. Tatum show. Hey, I got a line to them. I can hit them up. I know they're busy, but I'm gonna talk to Tatum and see what we can do. We've met the Hyatt Twins. We talk. Shout out to the Hyatt Twins. I'm a fan. I watch them. They watch me, and they're from Virginia like me too. So I love to have them on the show. We got to make that happen for sure. So shout out to the Hyatt Twins. I'm a big fan of theirs. All right, and your first part was the party switch. Well, if the party switch, then why is the left still the party of killing off black folks? 23 million black babies been aborted since 1973, Roe v. Wade. Who's in favor of killing babies? The Democratic Party. Civil rights. Who is more in favor of civil rights than Democrats? The Republicans. We voted for it more than they did. Who wants more gun rights to have black Americans protect themselves legally? It's the Republicans, not the Democrats. They want to take guns from us, and we live in very dangerous areas. So the criminals have guns, but the citizens can't. So we got to be sitting ducks while the criminals can have whatever they want. Oh, okay. Who's right now advocating for the destruction of cities, or at least not doing anything to stop it? It's the Democrats. Everything that they do is things that they say we do on the right. It's projection. They're lying when they say that we are the racists on the right. They are the racists on the left. Thank you to Cynthia Cotney, who says the purpose of a lockdown was to slow progression so hospitals could manage patients, not to stop CV-19. That's what I was told, right? Slow to spread. 14 days to slow the spread. That was what it was at first back in March. But now here we are in August talking about not going to school at all in 2021. What are we even doing? This is stupid. Thank you to Cyrus Cherry, who says, how can I convince someone to vote Trump? Biden is dying in our face, but people will still vote for him. Well, you're not going to be able to convince everybody. Some people are going to be steadfast in their decision, and you can't change their mind at all. What can you really do? All you can really do is just, provide the truth whenever possible, but not everyone's going to be open to hear it. Thank you to Bearbait01, who says, hey, ABL, very off topic, but I would like to hear your thoughts on the American Civil War. I believe we can learn a lot from it, and I think it very closely relates to the Revolution, War for Slavery. That's kind of a deep topic that I have enough time to get into, but you had a lot of people on both sides of it that had their own individual reasons. You had soldiers that were just signing up, just wanting to. That's kind of a long one. I can't really answer that right here because I don't, the time is just not really there. But slavery was a part of it, but not the only reason. If it was the only reason, like I always tell everybody, then why did both sides have slaves? If one side fought the other to stop slavery, then why did they both have it all throughout the entire war? That doesn't make any sense. So it was much deeper than just slavery, much deeper than that. It was really complex issue. Thank you to Jonathan Stolarski, who says, F that alien disinfo, keep it on that real. Thank you to Christopher Brogan, who says, Democrats are pushing to get Biden into office. Democrats will remove him due to advancing dementia, then slip in a super replacement into place. Who will it be? That's a good question. They might try to slide in Michelle Obama or somebody like that. Hillary Clinton got about one life left to live. She a cat that got that's on life number 10. You understand what I'm saying? So she's pretty much about to be dead herself. So I think if anybody, it'd be Michelle Obama. You know, they love it. You know, the White House black again. But you got to be able to get to that point to him to even win, which ain't going to happen. If you see a guy that's halfway dead on the stage, how can he have more support than the guy who won against a better candidate in 2016? That's going to be a tall order. Thank you to Hudson Jackson II, who says, update on Karen's versus mask saga. Feminists are now complaining about how creepy men are since the mask mandates. I saw that. Aggressive eye contact. Really? Aggressive eye contact? I thought it was don't look at my chest or my backside or whatever. So if I'm making eye contact, that's somehow bad. I mean, what are we even doing? Where else am I going to look? At your mask? Read your blank mask and see what that says. Look at your knitting pattern on your knit mask. But anyway, also the Hog's Law YouTube channel has a video that better explains the Patreon case. I think I saw that, but yeah, the Patreon thing, I pretty much have decided on. I've decided where I'm at on that one. But I'm gonna look at their channel to see what they say, just so I can get some more information, because I'm an open-minded person. But I think I might have already decided that. Shout out to Jonathan, who says, F that racist stuff. Don't like the CCP, but I respect Chinese people. Keep it on the real. Ignore these trolls. Thank you to Michael Henderson, who says, keep up the great work. Thank you to Monica Matthews, who says, you are awesome. Caller mail-in voting is the reason they want to keep us home. There you go. Thank you to Robbie D for becoming an ABO supporter. And you know what? After the election, magically, you could use HCQ and the virus is not really that bad. Magically, everything be back to normal. Right after the election. Just watch what happens. Thank you to Leo Mazzino, who says Tick-Tock is communism, aka government control. Thank you to Will I Am, who says Portsmouth, Virginia in the house. Love what you're doing to educate the masses. Shout out to Portsmouth, Pistol City, P City. Thank you to Sky, who says, becoming an ABO supporter. Thank you for that, Sky. I appreciate you. All right. I made you a mod over here. I see you a mod over on Tatum channel. So let me see. Where was I at? Thank you to DF, who says, do you think UN is corrupt? Should they be defunded? Yeah, they definitely should be defunded. The corruption is obvious as well. They definitely corrupt. Ain't no question about that. You know, everywhere they go, they involve themselves in the sex trade. And they also killed a bunch of Haitians because they had some guys from Nepal that built a septic tank right next to a river and it broke. And then that was a lot of Haitians drinking supply, the water supply. They were bathing it and everything. I think it was like 10,000 Haitians that caught cholera. I think they said more died from that than the earthquake. That could be wrong, but a lot of people died because of the cholera that came after the whole earthquake situation. Thank you to Wayne Steed, who says, ABL, please shout out to Marcus. Tell him Biden is not under reptilian control. You're awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, Biden is not under reptilian control. He's just about old as dirt, got one foot in the grave, about to go ahead and take a little dirt nap for a long time. That's what's going on with Joe Biden. Thank you to Tree, who says, tree supremacy. If you ain't a tree, we're going to have a big problem. Tree power. Thank you to Praying for the Rapture, who says, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, best days of the week. You get me through the week. I love everything you do. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Shout out to UI Ball, who says, thank you, ABL, just for being ABL. 2020 is a year for communism's push for the pandemic to racially motivated unrest to Marxist youth. China has bought America's weak-minded and traitors. There you go. Very good comment. Thank you for that. Thank you to Tree for becoming the ABO supporter. Thank you to David Addison for becoming the ABO supporter. Thank you to Too Shiny, who says, hey, ABL, you mentioned not being religious, but do you believe in Christ? Going to have nothing to do with being religious, by the way. That's kind of complicated. I might get into that a different day, but thank you for your donation. Thank you to Desiree for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Cyrus Cherry, who says, seriously, how dangerous do you think Biden president would be? Very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And that's why we got to go out there to the polls, take it very seriously. Matter of fact, if you have a primary election coming up, there's a primary election here in Tennessee. And like I said earlier, I'm voting for Bill Hagerty all day long. I met him last night, really nice guy. And I also know people that know him. I have people here personally that I know that know him or know of him. They're big fans. So I'll be voting in the primary, I think, on August the 6th. And I will be voting for everybody, of course, on election day come November. Thank you to Max Dominguez, who says, walked into a store with no mask. The looks I got, LOL. Yeah, you know me, I'm kind of a big dude. I'm like 6'3", dark-skinned dude. So if I go somewhere with no mask on, they might look at me, they might glance, but they ain't going to stare, because it's like, what you going to do? You going to beat me up? And really here, it's not even that kind of party. Like, it's not really a place where people really trip on masks, depending upon where you are. You know, the police don't even enforce. Like I said earlier, the police got on TV. I think it was a police chief here in Chattanooga. He got on TV and said that we're not going to enforce the mask mandate. So I don't really get that many looks, but when I do, they kind of like, they just give me the quick little glance and look back. Thank you to Jeremiah B, who says, did you see that Drew Brees came out today and said he still won't kneel for the anthem? Hey, congrats to my man Drew Brees. Congrats. I think he apologized for something. He kind of like backtracked something, but I'm glad he won't kneel. Stand for something or fall for everything. Okay, that's all I got for tonight. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to the Patreoners, the PayPals, the PayPalers, the new members, the Super Chatters. Shout out to everybody that's watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, retweeting, liking on Facebook, whatever you do. Go to my website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Everything is right there. I got articles, I got merch, I got all my social media platforms, my snail mail. All that good stuff is right there. And shout out to the mods as well. You guys do a great job keeping the chat in check. We got Elijah Jean, Bill from the Hills, Color Sushi, Michelle A, and Sel Shreves. I see you, Kim Bone. Thank you for what you do. You guys are fantastic. Xanatus King Sword, I see you in here too, boss. Rapper 10,000. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you guys again live on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday 8 p.m. Eastern, and again next Saturday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And thank you to Noah Blake, who says Trump 2020. All right, y'all. So that'll be it. Until next time, y'all be safe. What I say? I forgot my whole thing. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. There you go. And peace.